me on and you on. Hello everyone, welcome. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. We are live with Monday Night Mashfest number 70. My name is Ryer. I'll be your host for the evening, and I'm joined by my two commentators. And I'll let them introduce themselves now.
Hey, how's it going? I am Towito, and I'm along with...
Hi, I'm Koyo. Glad to be here for some more Melty blood. Love to see how many players we have in the bracket today as well.
Yeah, this is a big bracket. We were just talking about it before going live, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, I swear. Feels like post-patch, people are continuously excited, which is nice to see, because, you know, sometimes after a big patch, you get a lot of people come in, and then there's a bit of kind of a wane of people go, actually, this still isn't for me, and a couple people tacking on. But no, we got more people, so I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, no, Melty Blood's really taking off. TL just, with those changes, the game feels like so different than on release that it's like amazing, and everyone's loving it.
Yeah, it is certainly improved, I think, in the eyes of many people, and it's nice to see additional, you know, moves, systems being reworked, and so on and so forth. So it's been excited, but yeah, it's a big old bracket. We've got a ton of matches for you guys today. We're gonna be in it for the long one, but before we get started, we're gonna get this out of the way early. Don't forget about the Matcherino. I know. It may be an annoying thing to click 3 buttons and then give 25 cents to the bracket, but please God,
I feel like our crowd loves pressing buttons.
I think there's a lot of mashers in the chat. I'm a masher. I play Kouma. I mash on that character.
Oh, you play Kouma? I play Kouma.
I play like a dirtbag, yes. And I hit buttons a lot, you know. So and I hit the Matcherino as well. You can check it. You can literally hit exclamation point Matcherino to correct me, but you'll see me on there, and then you should click some of those buttons yourself.
I'm going to call up our first two contenders. As they said, we have 50 gamers in bracket tonight, so a lot of matches to come, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of Mashfest regulars, and I think a lot of new people who, you know, certainly play the game but are joining our brackets for the first time. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it's a very good mix. Koyo, is there any like particular player that you're most excited about, or like kind of think is sort of not seen as much?
For me, I love personally watching Maigo in like almost any game, and I don't generally see them like in MBTL too often. So I'm actually really excited to see that. I'm always a fan of like Omnisscythe with the powered CL. I think they have like one of the better ones out there, and I really enjoy seeing it. And I'm pretty sure we will see it later on today. But yeah, man, there are so many names in this bracket that could go really far, and I'm just excited to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say Maigo is also a very exciting name for me to see. This is another thing we were talking about earlier, funny enough. But I did not know they actually played Melty Blood. I know them mostly for their Rachel, New York Rachel player. Very strong, won ECT literally yesterday or 2 days ago, was it? So always nice to see them on other games, but right now we got a different set coming on. This is going to be Sanadamushi versus, I believe,
Vivian is the full...
Vivian.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I'm actually unfamiliar with Vivian. Do you guys know who they play?
No,
or
I didn't recognize either of these names, which is kind of why I wanted to throw them up on the stream. I wanted to see, you know, in early rounds, I always like trying to throw newer faces onto the stream and see how they do.
I think it's good as a way of just seeing a variety, because we do have a lot of people that, if you guys have been keeping up with MBTL, you definitely would recognize a lot of faces here. We have Lunar, there's Havard, Omnisscythe, as mentioned earlier, Starxunderscore, Lucybruv, Pinkujp as well. Pretty familiar faces, I would say, in the MBTL scene as well.
Yes.
Yeah, along with like Defi as well. So again, like, if you guys are familiar with French bred players, you're gonna catch them. CG is in as well. I didn't even catch that till now.
Yeah, a lot of folks, and I'm excited to see pretty much everybody play in this bracket. My sleeper pick / maybe less recognized player is Drachme. He's a fellow VTuber, plays a sick Kohaku, has been playing long time, I believe top 16 or 17th at Evo for MBTL, did quite well. And I think that's somebody who he enters our brackets, but I don't know if people see him around as much. So that's the one I'm excited to see.
Yeah, definitely excited to see that.
Vivian.
Especially with the Kohakus, they're usually gonna be seeing a lot more just flat out made players rather than Kohaku solo. So it's quite nice to think about.
Yeah, Kohaku had a couple of interesting buffs, but I think I guess in some ways is that some people feel like Kohaku still may be weak in certain respects and all that, but it's always nice to see that kind of character diversity. Now that I think about it, I don't know who plays Kouma in this bracket, and I'm depressed.
Kouma players, yeah, I didn't spot any. Lucy has, of course, an amazing Kouma.
Yeah, but they also play a lot of Vlov.
No, she plays the cast, right? So it's like,
yeah,
it's really just dependent. But that is who I try to mold my Kouma after, for sure. And then I don't know other standout names for Kouma players, but maybe we'll see some.
Kind of how it works out sometimes. But we got that. So decent amount of Shiki with a couple of players around here. I believe CG plays Shiki.
Yes.
And then as well as, if I remember correctly, Havard I believe also plays Shiki from the last time I played them. If I remember correctly. In fact, I think there's pretty decent character diversity in general with this bracket. Now that I'm kind of like looking at it again.
There we go.
Oh, we got our players. And speaking of which, Mario, a character that you don't really see that much, I think, outside of really Scrot is like, major representation.
Yep. I think it's growing post-patch, especially I would say people probably saw Scrot's like CEO run and Evo run and probably,
multiple runs basically.
Well, yeah, I mean any run, right? But I
Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo. It's like almost all the majors recently.
Yep.
Huh?
I think people have caught on. This character's pretty good, but definitely requires some homework and work.
Yeah.
All right, these two are good to start.
Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. And then on the other side, of course, we have Miyako as well. Character that's gone through a lot of changes, but had received some love this patch in a couple of ways.
Yeah, went from like actually being one of the top characters to getting some sizable nerfs, and I think that they're now starting to like notice. Yeah, we can start giving back to her, and she's actually in a pretty nice spot, I think. So I'm actually hoping to see a bit more Miyako's as things go on. Though hopefully not to be the same type of bracket demon she used to be.
Yeah, probably not as demonic, but we'll see what happens.
But as of right now, Sanada taking quite the lead in pressure and in damage. Doing nice with the shield RPS here, but ooh, the Nun actually still catching afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, tried to dash through over there, but you got to remember that you're minus in that situation. Vivian just kind of sitting there in neutral, like, oh, okay, cool, and then stuffing it properly. To seeing this, stopping the Nun out of the stage.
Stopping the Nun and still hitting Vivian with it. This is such a good situation. That was... Wow, I cannot believe how much like value that 2-2C had.
That was really funny. I'm so sorry, I just wasn't expecting that option. That's interesting. I never would have thought of it that way, but I could see Stomp being useful in that sense. Let's see, got the air throw ender here. What else have we got? Goes into the throw here.
Yeah, having a combo throw makes it pretty nice as well. Just to continue the pressure on. Blood heat getting spent.
Yeah, full resources, might as well. Doesn't get the pickup though. Let's see. They did get out of the corner, so that's something, but unable to spend meter on an arc drive or even a super. It feels a little bad, frankly. Now
they got the health back, but it's still not much either.
Yeah.
And the fatal counter here, this is going to equal a lot, especially corner carry. Missed the ender. But things are still looking good for Sanada. Oh, but this one launcher, maybe things can start looking better for Vivian.
Yeah, probably going to look for a heat after a knockdown or two at this point, is what I would think in terms of like playing the health race. 50 seconds left on the clock, but might just see them run out early. Just a heat now.
Yeah, but it's not enough. Sanada taking game one.
Yeah. Finding the hits right there that they need, frankly, despite kind of what could have been a very scrambly situation post-heat.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell at first if they had dodged the heat or not, or if they actually did get hit.
They did get hit, and let's just say TLDR things happened regardless.
Yeah.
Air throw from Vivian here. Time for mix. No!
Just
What
the DP.
looked like it was supposed to be a safe jump attempt ended up getting stuffed by the EXDP from Sanada. I don't know if it's fast enough or if Vivian maybe tried to go for a Heat OS afterwards, because it definitely would have been vulnerable to the DP, but didn't see a counter it, so I'm not too sure. Either way, though, we are going all the way on into cross-country adventure to the corner.
Oh. Pressure now starting for Vivian, but a nice smash for Sanada, taking this back to the corner. This is her home now.
Yeah. Got a, you know, a little white picket fence, the wife and the kids and all that. But yeah, seriously, that counter hit there with the 2B, I believe it was, that was really sick. Oh my god. Good recognition on the whiff there. And catching Vivian out, unable to finish the combo there. Vivian does get to take their turn as a result. Take them to the corner, get a little bit of Moon as well. Changing ownership of the home, it seems.
It's being repossessed now. Gotta move cross country now, just going to the other corner.
Yeah.
Oh, no Heat OS. Just gonna take the knockdown. The EX DP whiffs. No punish. Sanada still finding a good grab. Just gonna take the cross up just to continue. Move back to the corner. Ooh, a sad match for Vivian. Sanada can end this very soon. Just one more hit.
Still got caught. Okay. Ooh. I see the idea behind the heat, but there's a few reasons why that didn't work out. But more importantly, really good win on Sanada right there.
Yeah, it's going up 2-0 on that.
Yeah, very good.
Next rounds.
So yeah, to talk about the heat a little bit, the problem with it is that's a situation where, right, you want to get the heat, give me a knockdown, get away from me, let me get my health back. The problem is you're still at a 1-bar heat, and if your opponent is kind of just maneuvering around in neutral, the way how Sanada was, it's just not quite going to work out. You're better off waiting for maybe a knockdown or even two to kind of find a way to set up for a safe heat. And in that situation, it smelled more of desperation than a response necessarily what Sanada was doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, either way, them's the breaks. We have our next set coming along, as you mentioned. Now, I think this is going to be Star versus Ultimaleo.
Yep, that is who I am calling up right now.
Okay, excellent. My prediction, aka ability to look at the challenge page, is unmatched.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes.
If only I could read.
But if only. I understand the feeling. Sometimes I get that myself. But yeah, Ultimaleo, I feel like I've seen them around at Monday Night Mashfest before. I just forget who they play.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Star plays Aoko.
Yeah, Star plays Aoko. We saw them on the Vlov last time as well, for the first match that we saw of them on stream. And then, who else did they play? Yeah, they're currently really just on the Vlov and Aoko, as I understand it. Mostly Aoko.
Noel.
Yeah, Noel. This character also got some pretty good buffs this patch, I would say. I was talking about it earlier with a couple of people, but Noel is a very interesting character for a variety of reasons, but the big buffs that she got, of course, to kind of summarize and catch people up if you're unfamiliar, is that it's not the 2-2B, but I think it's 6-2-3B is now a true reversal, so she doesn't need meter to reversal. And on top of that, her JB cross-up hitbox was improved dramatically for a bit more mix, although she often has a lot of same-side stuff, but that may be beside the point.
She has like a lot of mix-up attempts, which she can go for. So just having the extra options is still good in general.
Yeah, I'd say she has solid left-rights in the cast. And one of the big things is her space control and her ability to stay safe and like keep her turn with keys. But we'll see how Ultimaleo may want to play out with it. You know, it's a limited resource, so there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with it, whether it's Oki or your offense or pressure. But already only at 6 right now, and Star still's got like 60-70% left. But
yeah,
confirm like that,
that's
not going to take many extra hits.
Yeah, that started off with the air fatal counter, so it was really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, even continuing after the shield just does not matter. You're gonna hold that, well then you can hold this combo.
Yeah, looks like Star was probably expecting a shield counter or a follow-up right there. Immediate heat as well into the 2-3-6C. Not going to really do too much for him, spending some of the meter, but trying to set up a couple of the orbs perhaps and get that get the tower defense more or less to kind of camp it out. However, you don't have the life lead and you're not really in a comfortable position to shield charge here, or moon charge rather. Walks it low, but keeps it plus with the orb now. Alright.
This is gonna be a
Barely
nice
with a life
knockdown.
lead, I think, here.
The shield B follow-up gets them out of the corner, but they're still in pressure. You gotta deal with this. Nice
Orb is set, but there's the reversal. No meter needed anymore, baby. Alright, let's see them keys for plus frames. No! Goes for the charge right there.
Yeah, the charge 2-2B is an overhead, doing pretty nicely there. But the moon drive coming from both players. There wasn't a shield there. All of that
10 seconds
health.
left on the clock. Are we going to see a Moonskill laser?
Oh, the air
my-
throw takes that for Ultimaleo. Taking round one. I did not believe that would happen.
Yeah, Aoko's got so many air options, and her air movement this patch is fantastic, right? Just her ability to maneuver around laser, orb set, air dash, especially in moon drive. So I'm shocked that Star got caught out there. There's the reversal now, spending the meter this time.
Yeah, very beautiful reversal there. Just getting out. There's the fatal counter, but pressed another button on the way down. Didn't continue the combo.
Nice use of key in order to not only delay their air momentum, but also force Star to block to prevent a laser on landing.
Star keeping some good pressure here, even going into the EX, just constantly going for more plus frames. There's the low. That's gonna land. This does a pretty decent chunk of damage. And then you have the negative edge orb.
Oh, I like the empty jump right there to use the 2A for the low, especially with the orb on hand. A lot of times, you know, you'll see Star do frequently just kind of the basic like Aoko thing, right? Orb is set on the knockdown. All right, am I going to sweep or am I going to overhead? I like the change right there, especially because it leaves Aoko free to shield as well on reaction and heat.
Leo now finding their first confirm in the corner when they had 4 bars of meter.
Lots
They
of keys to
can
work
have
with
it
as
if
well
you want.
for the Yoki.
Yeah, did not even spend any keys so far. Oh, there's one.
Yeah. A lot to go. I'm surprised that he's not using it a bit more. Oh, Jesus, like the first round. Perhaps just hasn't found that situation for it. The moon skill flip does not work out in favor for Star.
Nice heat for Star just to separate things again.
How are you pressing heat and hits though?
I am wondering.
I would not expect the heat if I did that. I suppose like an intentional reset with the IAD there. That was surprising to me.
I mean, you gotta keep people on their toes. Expect the unexpected. Just do it.
I suppose
There's
so.
the
Speaking
overhead.
of
You didn't
which,
expect
yeah.
it. Going in with more meter. It doesn't finish the combo, but it's still a safe drop. Just
Shield
continue the
Wars!
Shield War.
Orb is set. It's party time.
Oh, he catches the backdash with the 2-2C.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Oh!
a great reaction to the moon skill there. Moving the hurt box back with the key toss as well as being able to punish and kill outright.
And I actually wonder, they used 2 key tosses there to counter with it as well. I'm wondering if it was like, if it wasn't enough with just the 1 key toss.
Oh, not too
Or if
sure,
they're just
honestly. Either way.
Yeah, on to game number 2. Star is taking the initiative so far. Probably gonna be looking for some tick throw soon. Nope, just gonna be continuing their pressure with high lows. There's the low.
Not a ton of damage, but we got Oki that immediately got beaten out with a reversal.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Noel having a meterless reversal now just helps out a lot.
Yeah.
In like a lot more situations.
Especially because resources are pretty scarce in general. Let's see if Star can close it out. There we go. Gets the first round. But empty on resources.
But Ultimaleo, almost having 4 bars and full moon drive, actually has everything that they ever wanted. Nice little counter on the shield there. Just gonna be trying to go for some form of reset. The shield wars. Oh, that was so low to the ground. Was probably expecting them just to fall to the ground, and then you can't really do anything with that.
You know how the saying goes, war never changes.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the plus frames with the keys. I'm surprised that Ultimaleo's not doing the dash cancel off of the key toss. Kind of just staying back. I think they could use a bit more usage of maybe 2B or 2C in order to control the space afterwards. Because it feels like they kind of back off and let Star go. And he will move on you if you give him an ounce.
Yeah.
Or an inch rather, I suppose. Either way, Ultimaleo's really afraid to swing on the orbs here. Doesn't want to get hit with the beam, but I think he can still just dash up 5A and just get rid of the orb set there.
I'm wondering if those are actually part of the negative edge, like orbs or anything. Because if not, then if they're the negative edge ones, you can't break them. They have to be detonated. The ones that move across the screen like that, those you can break.
Forget off the top of my head. Okay, double heat. First is going to mean a lot, not only just for the hit, but frankly to stop the health regeneration. But Star's going to be able to get back a lot of health, back up to about 50%, or rather 65. If I had to put a number to it. Moon skill still available, tries to go for the overhead, but Moon Drive, Moon skill right back from Ultimaleo.
You have to keep your lead right now. A nice hit for Ultimaleo. Just taking back the life lead doesn't matter. The time is up.
Whew. I didn't even realize the timer was going off there. Jesus. What a long round.
Yeah, that's one thing as well. Like, I realized they weren't really caring about breaking the orbs or anything. They had the life lead. They were just willing to wait it out so that the time could go down.
Yeah.
Or Star to do something instead.
I think the big thing as well is that, you know, Noel's got a ton of big normals in order to wall out Aoko. Like that on certain whiff situations, right? In order to control the mid-range better. But Aoko gets to be a bit more obnoxious, perhaps, with, like, kind of beams and full screen. So the patience from Ultimaleo, I think, is fine in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And there it is again, right? Backing off of the laser sequence there. Right, 1 bar left. Next knockdown should kill. Are we going to look for the heat? Moon Drive right into shield working out.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if there was a mispress or anything. I saw that they did another 2A after the B follow-up. Oh, and Star
too sure.
taking that from far range with the 236C.
Yeah, you gotta respect Aoko, especially when she's in Moon Drive. The Moon skill laser is coming. It's just gonna happen. It is very safe, very fast. At that point, you might as well just dash block and not really commit that heavily. Because Aoko's definitely going to make herself a bit more obvious if she's just dashing up, like with her intentions. But either way, good decision making from Star, especially to just cancel immediately into 236C. No matter what, that was plus frames. So good on him.
All right, on to game number 3, Star versus Ultimaleo. Let's see.
Yeah, frankly, this feels like almost a 3 out of 5 set with how long some of these rounds have been going.
It really has. Like, honestly, I thought it was almost over already, but no. These games have just been going on for a decent amount of time. Both players being either pretty patient or just explosive half the time like this. The pacing can change like in an instant.
Ultima trying to swing despite Star having the orb, gets caught. That's a fatal confirm. That's a lot of damage. Let's see, can you route for 2 bars? Yes, we can.
Oh. And it just, I feel like that barely did enough damage, but it was very nice. 4.6 from Star, but now as well, no meter.
However, it does have a full moon gauge. And with the, oh, Jesus. Okay, we are doing actions.
As we mentioned before, we love pressing buttons here.
Very, very true. Keeps the plus frames. There's the 2-2B. That button is super good for covering some spaces, and it's one of Noel's many tools for covering back dashes. Air surrender here. What do we got? Key toss? No, just going in for the normals. IDing in. Star's... I was going to say Star's been patient, and then he got counter hit, so maybe I'm just wrong. Let's see. Gonna spend the meter here for the ender. Let's see, air throw here.
Damage, possibly just one more confirm?
Yeah. Gets a double overhead. One more confirm will do it, especially with 3 bars. Whoa! Trying to be very bold with the DP there. Not sure if that was a misinput or what.
I wonder if that was meant to be the charge version going for the overhead.
Oh my god, they were too far away, so they went for the shield. Hold on, catching the backdash there. Again, you have to respect the keys. Backdashing against Noel can be a no-no at surprising ranges.
Yep. Actually, this is last game, last round now.
Yeah, this is for the set.
This is really close for both players. Ultimaleo does have Moondrive and 3 bars, so they have options on their wake up, but this is still scary. Yes, spending the Moondrive, going to the shield, fatal counter with the B follow-up. Let's see, are we going to be spending much of the meter here? Yes, we are getting a better knockdown.
Spend a bit of the cash indeed. 2 bars for 4.4, not too bad.
But you got to continue the pressure. Possibly just looking for some reversal from Star.
Gets the throw so far, not too much right here. Just really waiting on Star to press a button. And speaking of which, there's the heat. Reversal heat back from Ultimaleo as well. Big orb is set. We are just blocking some of the pressure right now. Star using those orbs to get in. Good shield right there. However, Star still finds the hit regardless.
No bar, no Moondrive. Star actually just got it.
Yeah, deciding to spend it to keep their pressure up. Post-shield situation not working for Star out whatsoever.
Spending the
All right, let's see what we got here. We're going to get a heat, a reversal perhaps? No, gets thrown instead.
One more confirm, one more hit.
Oh, and
finishes it off.
Yeah, the double overhead right there. Cleaning it up.
Wow. Man, that was extremely back and forth. I'm really impressed with both these players.
Yeah, that was a very fun and close set right there between both players.
Yeah. If I was, like, honestly, if I was Ultimaleo, I'd be shaking after all of that.
I would need to reset for a moment, frankly. And that's like a big thing in tournaments. Even if you win, there's still a lot of times where it'll be a close set and you're like, Jesus Christ, like literally with the shakes. And you have to recompose and re-energize yourself to get into your next set so that, you know, you don't burn out too quickly, because that can and will happen.
Yeah. Definitely. But honestly, both players played that amazingly well. Even in those moments where I was thinking, like, this is at the scariest, they were both, like, still processing everything, thinking of what they had to do next, and using their resources really nicely.
Yeah, and the thing that was most apparent to me was the way that they would try to mash. I'm not exactly phrasing that properly, but what I mean to say is, yes, they got countered multiple times, but it usually was following a long bout of kind of just patience and blocking out sequences. I'm more surprised that we didn't see as much movement in order to try and get out of the corner, but my assumption is that both Star and Ultimaleo really did not want to kind of get caught out by each other's sort of pressure tools, right? You know, Noel's got her 2-2X series for catching some of those fuzzy jumps. And Aoko, of course, has an orb set on your face, so you kind of have to deal with it sometimes. But even then, in certain situations where those were, especially orb wasn't in play, a little surprised there, but is what it is. We're moving on to our next set, and we have Roger with a W versus CG. CG, for those who don't know, pretty well-known PNW Enkidu in Under Night, and also plays Shiki in MBTL. Roger with the W, on the other hand, had gotten to 9th in EVO, actually. I'm playing Arcuied as far as I remember, but on the P.Ciel right now, or is that MASH? I can't tell between these ones. I think it's MASH, actually. Yeah, I was wrong. It's MASH. Okay, it's MASH.
They're very, very similar, especially with the lobby avatars, I feel.
Yeah, I get cooked on it. I'm not gonna lie. It's bad.
I feel like we all do at this point.
Yeah. But MASH here,
really nice color.
Yeah, this is a really good color. Oh my god. I think these are the ones for the official tournaments.
Oh, it might be.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, with the blonde Shiki there. I'm like 99% sure.
Oh crap. Alright, things have already started off really nicely with the fatal counter after the 2-2C for Roger with the W. just gonna say Roger from now on. That's just too long.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, yeah.
Good 3Cs from CG right there to anti-air. One big thing about dealing with Mash is her various air options in order to approach the ground, but not quite seeing them yet. CG gets a good 5C right here. Should be able to kill off this. You gotta spend the meter? Gotta spend it.
And actually winning so far with a perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Perfect in round 1. Very nice way of showing your opponent. Now, I'm coming in seriously.
Yeah, and here we go with the moon skills. So, Mash has a lot of ways to kind of come to the ground that can vary her air movement and make anti-airing her a pain in the ass, especially depending on if your anti-air is moving forward. And, I mean, anti-airing in Melty in general is not usually what you're looking for. 2-3-6C, gonna go for the air throw under. Keep it simple.
That was a gravy, too.
Might have messed up the safe jump there. Not sure if CG was looking for a Heat OS immediately after the JC, but either way, let's Roger out of the corner. Left, right. Good block.
Oh,
Ooh,
punish the
there.
DP.
Gonna cost them the round.
Yeah, because that's just gonna spend some meter. No,
Unless it
actually.
drops. But we clean up with a 2A. It's just meter efficient. It's a happy little meter efficient reset. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Now both players actually going to be sticking with 4 meter and Moondrive for this final round. So let's see, how are we going to be spending our resources? That's the most important question here.
Playing it rather conservatively right there.
Yep.
See what we
but
got.
Now we're going to be spending the Arc Drive.
It's time for Nanaya install. All right, what you
guys
got for us?
no.
2-2. Hey, Moondrive. Good block from Roger, however. CG holding onto the shield there and catching the BC follow-up. The shield wars are now have a nuke in play with Roger and Bloodheat, however. Good block. And that charging star is, I'll be honest, that thing is obnoxious. Mash has a lot of jump scare tools, I would say, where she suddenly gets way closer than you expect in a moment's notice. Good shield from Roger. Nice block on the A follow-up as well.
Oh, just going to be taking the low after trying to hold the shield. Seeing if there's going to be any other form of follow-up.
Dive kick cancels into the super. Heat is baited but not beaten. Alright, what do we got next?
So close. Just gotta try to make sure that they don't heal too much off of it. Going in with a throw. This is one throw away, I think. Oh, no, but then hit. Now for CG, this is gonna be really close.
Still gonna install. What mix do we have available? There we go! Cleans it up right there and follows up with the Moon Drive. Very, very good.
Goodness, I actually had forgotten about the install as well.
The round lasted so long.
Uh-huh. Like, I didn't expect it to take so long after the install and such. That I kind of forgot it was even there.
Well, yeah, you know, CG had Roger on the ropes for a bit, but that blood heat really changed the momentum in that round. And it looked like CG was about to lose it straight, but he can manage to etch it out this time. Good J air to air here. Nice confirm as well. Gonna be able to take Roger straight to the corner first thing in the morning.
Now I'm gonna be going for some nice pressure, getting put low, sadly.
Keeping it rather standard. That 5A is a standing low now, right? And staggering it properly in order to catch out Roger mashing. Might have also been maybe looking for a throw as well, but CG has been, you know, really dumping them in there very much. Getting the kill here as well, however. Really good play so far from CG.
And another perfect for CG, actually.
Yeah.
Taking both these first rounds with the perfects.
And here we go. That does
TK.
indeed make throws as well.
Yeah, the TK Moondrive skill, just to get the overhead from one as well. Baiting throw.
CG spending the meter early. Really likes the Nani install moves, it looks like.
It is nice to have a little bit more mix with I think that's the 2-2-C, the one that baits the teleport.
Yeah, he has the feint now, which is like very good, especially because it doesn't show the green flash anymore, so it's a lot more powerful visually.
Yeah, less things to react to, makes it a lot more ambiguous. Powerful mash for CG here, just to get them out of the corner. Swap things up at the ender DP.
There's that delay BC in order to catch CGs. Should be able to kill off this. Do you need to spend it? Nah, Moon Skill will be enough.
Very nice. That way we get to keep the 4 bars going to the last round here.
Yeah. Blood Heat's already going to be on the table the moment Roger decides to use it. Or rather, that is to say, if Roger opts to heat, it's going to be Blood Heat. And that's where a party time might start.
Yeah. We can either see the Blood Heat, or we do also have Arc Drive, in which we can get some massive damage. Like, Mashu already has some really good damage. And with the blood, like the actual Arc Drive as well, it's scary.
Yeah, speaking of which...
GG. Going in for the Arc Drive here, going back into the Naya. Starting off with the feint. What mix we're gonna get? The 2-2A. Run under. There's the blood he has mentioned before.
But CG's still mashing. We know those frames are not quite plus, my friend. That blood heat's gonna be gone. Almost a non-factor now. Tries to go for the 100 slashes. Not gonna work out here.
No meters though, so this isn't gonna be too bad.
Gets the shield this time. Whoa. Heat whiffs from Roger. That's a bold air shield. He was expecting Roger to go for a lot of the dive kicks that he was doing earlier, but Roger not giving to them and managing to catch out the landing recovery. Good 2B right there, defensively from CG. Again, there's that dive kick. EX cancel for the plus frames. But not ready for the clash.
But
Combo drops in the... What just happened?
So I think that was technically meant to be like a Sandori JC for Mashu. But it was done like very weirdly in my eyes.
Yeah,
she was still facing a different way.
I don't know if CG got maybe an input crossed up or something. That's a... You gotta play the tape back here to see what happened, I'll be honest.
Yeah. But now the score is actually tied. 1 apiece. Alright, let's see if CG can still continue on their streak with starting out the rounds with a perfect.
Well, the way it's going right now, it's pretty good here. Lots of bar and resources to play with, but the DP will put the perfect dreams to rest.
I have to jinx it. It's a commentator thing, you know?
Nah, I know what it is. It's a cross-up, good block from CG here.
Ooh, yep, there is a minimum range on that TK flip. So CG just ran under it, still getting some nice damage for it too, spending the meter.
Perhaps looking for the backdash maybe with the 2A, 2B right there, but not working out for him. Oh, that JB crosses up, that is so ambiguous.
It's so scary.
Yeah. Air throw under here, what do we got for our offense?
Spending the moon drive.
Yeah, CG wants to shift it a bit more in his favor.
Yeah, has the 3 bar as well. I don't think we're going to be spending it anytime soon. Just going to be using the shield.
CG going for the direct BC there. Hold on a second, but the clash right there on the charging star. Yeah. I want to talk about the BC interactions in a moment, but right now we are at set point here for Roger.
4 bars for CG, but no moon drive.
There's that moon skill. Again, the way Mash can alter her air momentum can make it very frustrating to pin down her landing.
And air mobility is like the most important thing in this game. So whenever seeing people just be able to change how they're going to be falling, when, and just how fast, yeah. Like, it is extremely strong. So it is nice to see it get used to such a nice way, but still CG not being all too flustered by it.
Shiki still with the legs of a god. Safe heat setup as well.
Yeah, regenning a decent amount of health.
Until.
Yep.
Cross under here. Should be able to kill, especially with Moon Drive available.
And
Moon skill, Arc Drive, and there we go.
There we go. Roger taking it 2-1 over CG. Very nicely done from both players. I'm actually very impressed with Roger at the end there, just making it very dominant, not worrying all too much. Well, I feel like in the previous 2 games, things were looking mostly CG sided.
Yeah.
but I'm really impressed there.
I
do
think. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Go on.
I do think what you mentioned before about the about like messing with their air momentum caught out a lot of what CG was trying to look for most of the time with the shield flips. There was a few
sure.
times where it didn't work out the best in their favor, but I feel like those were like the small moments where they're just like, okay, that was just a mistake, a small mistake that I don't even have to worry about. I can just continue doing this. Look out for how they're trying to see my air approach, and then just counter it after that. And I think that was actually pretty nice because you also even mentioned about the TKs, just changing up the timings and seeing like I don't even have to go for it here. I can just go for it somewhere else, then keep myself safe with the 2-2C, start my pressure somewhere else.
Yeah, I think to take it further, even just showing the altering air momentum with the various dive kicks is important in order to make an opponent less sure of themselves, right? It's you know, it's the FG basics, right? Show a bunch of different options so that your opponent doesn't get comfortable doing the same thing over and over again. I think it worked out very well in his favor. I think another thing that was really good for him and successful for Roger over time was a lot of the Oki situations and the offensive mix-ups. We saw over time CG getting caught out a lot more often, you know, being in a position that was maybe once Roger was able to get started, he continued his offense much more successfully than I would say the previous two games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, of course, the neutral interactions that we talked about, and a lot of the shield situations, Roger made a lot of good adjustments on that. And adjusting your shielding in this game can feel a bit weird, personally speaking, right? I sometimes in a short set, I'm like, okay, I'm really synced up. All of my shield options are beating like what they usually do. Fantastic. And I clean up the set, right? Then there's other times where it's the complete opposite. And my opponent is watching me and I'm like, I have no idea what other shield options I'm supposed to be doing here, right? It felt like Roger was making very fast adjustments to a lot of the shield situations and generating things that were either in his favor, at worst, or overwhelmingly, you just got hit now, right? Especially with the BC follow-ups, right? Using that a lot more frequently, I would say, in general, was very beneficial for him.
Sorry to cut you off, folks. I just want to give a shout out to Shining Spear, a $25 contribution to the Matcherino. We are almost done with the codes for the Matcherino, only 12 left as well. So be sure to claim those codes if you haven't done so already.
Mm-hmm. And hey, we are literally 50 cents away from $75. So all it will take is a code and a couple of sponsor quests, and then it's all easy right there. So be sure to do those sponsor quests as well. It's literally following Imp and WASD, which you probably should be doing already.
I mean, all at that point is you're getting free content. Look at all these tournaments that we host. It's amazing.
Yeah,
How can you not want to watch more?
And right now, okay, we do have a Kouma. This is Shishi versus Yui. I am not familiar with both players, but this matchup currently is not going in a very surprising way. This is not too surprising, I would say.
Yeah. Yui, to my knowledge, is a newer name to me, but Shishi has actually joined our brackets a few times before. I don't remember if I've ever seen him play Kouma, actually. So I'm quite interested in this now.
Yeah, this matchup is, as Kouma, it's a pain in the ass. I'm going to put it very bluntly. The big thing is just P.Ciel's space control. This got better with the patch, given like dash blocking buffs. But either way, you're still forced in a lot of situations where you really do not want to be caught moving at an awkward position. And especially the 5C is very prominent for making an already bad, a character that's already bad in the air that much worse.
Yeah, all of like Powered P.Ciel's C buttons just make this a pain for most characters, and I feel like it's even worse for someone like Kouma.
Yeah.
With limited options half the time.
You already don't really want to jump around that much and stick to just catching recoveries with, you know, big tools like 2B and 3C, but oh my god, and the shield BC right there. Yui, frankly, is cleaning this up very quickly. It feels like Shishi is very lost for an approach currently, right? And I think they have yet to really stick to maybe some more non-committal approach options. I'm not sure, you know, the 6BC is nice for catching people off guard, but it felt like Yui's very prepared for it in that instance, you know?
Yeah.
But gets the air throw here, immediately spending the meter.
Yeah. Decent chunk of damage. Doesn't get anything off the DP there either.
Yeah. Yui's been opting for a bit of 63A. I am curious about that option right there in that situation. I'm wondering if Shishi's maybe looking at that and saying, like, okay, I might be able to smoke it on recovery. Speaking of which, though, looks like Shishi got smoked for trying to use some moon skill. Not too sure which one it was, but getting caught just trying to mash and catch Yui on their landing right now. And what already felt like was a bad situation last game feels like it's almost getting worse. The J3B?
Oh, wow.
You didn't need to do all that. You could have just done Rekka. Why'd you do the J3B? You didn't need to do it to him like that. Jesus.
Still continuing on. Just the run-up DP right there.
Yeah, we've been seeing it a lot from Yui, and it's very apparent that Shishi does not have a response for it immediately. I think 3C would be the first thing to kind of choose right there, simply because of its massive hitbox and head invulnerability. Does move Kouma forward, but right now Yui's placing themselves in a perfect area for 3C to land, I would say, after the 63As.
Oh, but even the moon skill version going into the arc drive really early.
Cashing out on the damage, and I can't blame them for it, especially with the way neutral's been going. It feels like every 2 seconds Yui like catches Shishi doing something or gets away with using a button. Now, two of those things that I literally just described did not happen, but still. Shishi trying to go for the 2-on-4B, but Yui's not really conditioned enough for that to work out currently. Opting for the backdash right there and dot themselves back into neutral, where it is all P.Ciel time. But the JB from downtown. Shishi not getting quite the combo that they want off there. 2-2-A for plus frames, but ends their turn.
They do have meter, but I'm wondering when they're going to be using it for something like heat.
Probably off this next knockdown, but we'll have to see if Yui's looking for it.
Oh.
Yui gets their own heat. Shield barely whiffs with the 5C there. I can't even blame them for doing it there. That's a situation where you're right, but the execution just was not quite there, or the situation's just out of hand.
Yeah. Small, unfortunate whiff there. But yeah, Yui just taking that by storm. And going 2-0 over Shishi.
Yeah.
Oh, and switching to the Neko arc just to say farewell.
I appreciate that.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a matchup where you really want to just walk. You have to walk or dash block for quite a while, and wait for P.Ciel to use something with higher recovery right there.
Yeah, you have to hold back and wait for it to overcommit. I find that matchup really painful too, and it's like, yeah, I just want to go in, but she doesn't.
Well, you gotta basically. You are dealing with a character that can play as a zoner that uses normals in that situation, right? Yep. Where you see P.Ciel gets to just like, oh, yeah, I'm just chilling. Like, I don't know what you're really doing here, but cool, I guess. So you either have to get momentum very early to swing the, rounds in your favor, or you just got to be willing to sit for a while right there and then wait for something else. But them's the break sometimes. You just have to, you gotta play the matchup. You gotta respect it. Even if it is the most annoying thing ever and you want to go in, you want to armor through something, P.Ciel is just able to cover ranges too quickly and too efficiently for you to really do that without showing a couple of other less committal options first.
Yep.
But now we're gonna be going into our next game. This is still round 3. Wow. I'm still amazed that we have so many players that joined in. So many great players. And we're going to be seeing Shadeprince and Negareaper, or Negamasher, now that they put it on. And they're hovering currently the Roa. I'm used to them playing the Miyako.
Yeah, they are a Miyako player. Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Historically, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if they're all right.
They might be going to Miyako.
They might be going to Miyako. Because if not, and that saves me a 2-day-long explanation that Roa has good, or the Vlov. Okay, that's cool too. Huh? That's fair.
Okay. Shadeprince was like one of our original Arcuieds, so it makes sense that they're still sticking with it, especially after all the buffs that that Arcuied's been getting.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh,
Wait,
Mash. Wait, what?
Huh? What?
Wait.
Wait, they were definitely Vlov in the room 2 seconds ago, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Did they switch without wait?
Vlov is
Wait,
actually
huh?
3 mashes in a trench coat.
You're right. Just 3 really short matches. They're all chibis. Oh wait,
Okay, I actually believe.
this is the best thing now.
Okay, this is a bunch of different matchup. Jesus.
The mashup, yes.
No. God, whatever. Anyway, it's Arcuied time. Plus frames for days. Here we go. That vacuum is now +6, by the way.
Oh. And then also still baiting the heat. Nice air throw. This might not end up as well as expected.
Yeah, Shadeprince proactively proactively using shield right there, expecting Negareaper to go for the dive kick perhaps at that range, but I feel as Arcuied you can still kind of use your overall dash speed in order to just play out and just wait to whiff punish, perhaps instead. Good throw tech here.
Oh, the fatal counter on the low shield. That's gonna end it right there for Shadeprince.
Keeping it real clean right there at the moon skill.
No moon drive for either players. Both have 2 bars. So the resources are looking pretty good. They're starting off with the B follow-up on the shield to get a fatal counter into the corner. Spending some bar just for extra damage. Oh, and there's the invul DP.
There's that delay A. That's what you really want to do against the shield counters especially. You can catch it out, and even if you do, non-delay A, and you get the clash, as of this patch, you can still jump cancel out of that, in fact. So you can definitely turn the situation in your favor. Moondrive is set, but Shadeprince didn't really commit to an option. Not a lot of lantern recovery for doing nothing.
There was the moon skill DP, which you can still jump out of. It's pretty nice.
Negareaper, yeah, just
stay in the air a lot. We're finding
just catching Shadeprince trying to air there. I think that may be a better place to opt for 3C there, but that situation was pretty awkward, I would say.
Oh, the fatal counter with the held low shield.
Yeah, I see shield, I simply throw.
A nice jump over the charging stars there.
Got the punish as well afterwards, which is very good for them. Using that elbow, finding the hit on Negareaper.
Has all the meter in the world, spending 1 just for the good situation.
Yeah. There's the throw from Reaper.
Getting the safe heat right there. Shadeprince heating in response, just recovering as much health as they can get. There's another air-to-air. These air-to-airs have not been rewarding Shadeprince all too much, but still finding like 1, maybe 2 hits just to continue their life lead. It's gonna be ending up pretty nicely.
Gets a shield on the overhead. The wars have begun, however, and Reaper comes out on top with a throw.
Nice throw tech.
There's that good old Fate Go charge JC.
It's gonna be really close to killing.
Not gonna be enough. It's the mix-up afterwards!
Oh, the Heat OS from Shadeprince gonna be taking game 1 with that. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I can see why they wanted to go for the air surrender there, especially if it nets them that sequence. We are probably seeing a character swap here.
Seems like we might be. Akiha. That's in character select again.
Hold on. Holding. Miyako. Okay.
And is it actually Miyako this time? Okay, making sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie that.
That messed me up so much.
3 mashes in a trench coat. It really is the case. God.
It really was.
I can't believe it. Okay, but going back to the old me, says Reaper here. And depending on how this works out or how Reaper wants to play it out, this could get very scrappy.
Oh, starting things off the cross up 2. And be taking this closer to the corner, even spending the EX. Look at how many moon skills they used during that one combo.
Yeah, but check out their meter. They have 2 bars and they spent meter earlier.
Yeah, that's actually really nicely done. Since the Moondrive actually builds extra meter as well, right?
Yeah, it builds your meter passively as well. The big thing is that characters that are able to route into multiple moon skills these days get so much resource cycling available to them. You'll see it especially on Warc or Noel and a couple other characters that just go, oh, why did you spend all this moon skill? Oh, you just spent 2 bars and you're meter positive or something. Absurd.
Shadeprince now finding a decent combo for themselves, has 3 bars. So we're going to spend it for the nice knockdown.
Gotta look for a heat at this point or something. But a punish on an EXDP is definitely up there. Here's the air throw ender. What's the mix we got?
It was just going to be a delay, seeing about possibly a wake up heat. Dash on the low shield instead of going for a throw just to clean it out.
Yeah, they were expecting Reaper to like stop holding on to it.
Oh, the shield wars, these are going to be so close. The overhead actually beats out the moon stomp right there with 9 seconds on the board. That was really close.
God. Okay.
Oh, a clash to start things out. Another
Yeah,
nice shield, but Reaper finds the throw. This does a decent amount, putting them into the corner now.
Throws obtained, but where was the rest of the combo? Nobody knows. Elbow. BC counter. All right.
3 bars, are going to be spending it for the nice knockdown. Continuing the combo.
See air through here. 2A there. Whiffed. You're gonna have to delay Heat OS if you want to call out the moon drive there.
Oh, but the stomp actually even catches the shield there. All right.
Beautiful jump back JB right there from Negareaper. But not the rest of the combo. A throw. Could this be how it starts?
Fading the DP as well. Has full meter. Can we just end it with an arc drive? This will be really close if we do.
Not nearly enough health, but the counter moon drive gets the heat now.
Oh, but the last hit for Reaper. Putting
That
another
was
round.
Okay.
It's still set point though for Shadeprince. It's still really close. Reaper does have 3 bars, but after this combo, they're gonna be eating a lot of damage. Shadeprince has 2 bars, almost getting a third.
Calling out the shield now.
Throw. In the corner, it is a combo throw. Not finishing the combo, the heat for Reaper. This is a little scary. Just throw them back into the corner with the combo. Finishing it off this time. Getting a nice little concentrate, build up some of the moon. Shadeprince not out of this yet, though. Also still having 3 bars. Reaper just gonna be using the heat to get off of me.
And at this point, I don't. Speaking of heat, oh boy, that was very. For lack of a better word, that was a scrimble bimbo moment. Here's the heat from Shadeprince now. Keeping Negamasher in the corner, Negareaper in the corner. Not able to jail into an air unblockable, but finding this hit here, canceling into the arc drive. Not going to be enough to kill here, but it's a one-touch situation.
Anything goes here, but a nice JB for Reaper. This isn't going to be enough damage to kill either, but one more mix-up. There's the overhead with the DP, but drops it! And the falling JB from Shadeprince takes it. Going 2-0 over Negareaper there. Wow, okay, those were a couple of, like, really awkward scrambles at the end.
Yeah,
My
felt
goodness.
it felt like both players really had a lot of nerves, and so they just could not close. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm. You gotta make sure to finish your food. You can't just let it end like that. Unfortunate, but still nicely done from both players. That was really close.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think if they found few more ways just to end it off. Make sure that to clean things up. Like even before mentioning, like there's probably a few moments where they could have just ended around if they just slowed down a little bit, or maybe if they were just not like panicking, they could have just gone for maybe an extra throw, maybe a small mix, finish a combo or two. It would have been a lot cleaner. But honestly, with how everything went, I can understand the nerves are going to be high no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our round 4 we're entering right now. These matches are play-ins for top 8. So the next 2 matches we're going to watch, winner will go into top 8 winner's side.
Right on, right on.
First one is Pinkujp versus Kikoho.
Okay, interesting. Do you guys know who Kikoho plays? I don't.
I do not. Was a pretty last-minute entry into the bracket, so I did my classic seeding technique of grabbing the arrow and dragging it somewhere in the upper middle of the seeding.
Understandable.
Yeah. So actually went through a couple folks. Went through Papel, and went through Defiant as well to get to this point. So beat a couple pretty strong players.
Interesting.
The chat's saying Warc.
Warc. Okay,
I love
cool.
watching Warc.
Nice. I have a lot to talk about on that character.
Let's go.
We'll get to it when we see it. If they pick Warc. Character changes on net play or something else, I swear to God. Pinkujp also kind of hard to pin down. I'm not sure what character they've been playing. They kind of swap around and play a lot of different characters. They were on Vlov not too long ago, but also have like a mash that they were learning as well. So we'll see.
Oh, that was fast. Ooh, red name? Let's go.
Oh. But right now,
the first thing we focus on. Let's go, red name.
Oh my God, red name.
But a little unexpected to see the D.A.N actually. But I'm actually excited. I do enjoy watching D.A.N, not gonna lie.
Yeah, they've also been playing. They also have a D.A.N. They've had it for a bit. I will be frank. I did catch them on the Discord call playing D.A.N and Noel. Sorry, I'm saying that like they're like a robber or something. I did see them like playing the D.A.N Noel earlier today. So this is going to be pretty much a zoner versus like a more set play oriented character with pretty decent full screen options here. Nice air unblockable sequence right there with the spears.
Oh, popping the spears far range. Just to see if they're gonna be pressing any buttons just to try to zone. Okay. Oh, they actually did bait the shield follow-up. They didn't get the punish. But still finding a nice combo after it. And Pinkujp taking round 1.
Yeah. With a lot of meter to spare as well.
Yeah.
With the JA right there. Not committing to the shield. Gets him hit by the J4BC.
Yeah, a lot of these.
And right now,
nicely.
Yeah, it feels like Pinkujp was really just relying on the spears and the spear sets in order to catch out Kikoho, who seems really wants to hit like a button or hit like a projectile and get their zoning started, but it feels like they're just not in the positions to do so, so they're getting caught out pretty early by a lot of the spear sets. Here we go. What have we got for the mix?
No mix. We're just gonna be blood heating out of there, but still Pinkujp finding a nice hit. Just gonna drain out the entire time for this blood heat. Oh, there's the cross up there. Didn't even have to press a button. Pinkujp finding game 1 for themselves.
Yeah, with just enough time right there. The potential shield on the spear mix-up right there could have been very, very dangerous.
But it was timed pretty nicely, though. The blood heat just ran out at the beginning of that.
Now, Pinkujp up a game right here on the D.A.N Noel. Gonna see an instant conversion right there off of the Moonskill Onion Ring. With the charge normal right there. Blocking work in this match is a whole other ball game right now. Gets the 2B. Wow, it whiffs actually. Okay. Back to neutral right now. And again, one of the big things about D.A.N Noel is that if she does not have the momentum in a round, things can go poorly very quickly. And we're kind of seeing that come into play right now.
Yeah, even still, life leads just demolished. Pinkujp does have a lot of meter, but just not gonna want to spend it. This is the eco round. We're saving the meter for this one.
Yeah, they were waiting on an opportunity to potentially get a safe heat or put themselves in a position where it's like, oh, okay, well, next hit kills, let's just pop this as well. Keeping it conservative right here.
Oh,
goes for the overhead this time. And still plenty of moon to work with for another overhead off of a spear set sequence. But dashing up with the 623A right now, catching Kikoho in the air.
That's so scary. Yeah, that round actually started off and ended the same way with a run up, just DP for the unblockable there.
Yeah. Kikoho, once again, really likes that sequence of the moon skill onion into the EX lunge right there. I'm curious to see if Pinkujp will maybe opt for, I believe it's 4BC is the moon skill spear set in order to kind of catch them like unawares. Gets the shield right there because of the moon drive and gets the 2C punish as well. This is going to be good damage if it was a finished combo. Just barely dancing out of each other's ranges.
Kikoho with barely any moon. Already spent it for the onion rings. 1 meter, can use it here, and we will. Just push them closer into the corner. There's a little teleport, but nothing much. Pinkujp already finding their way out of the corner. Ooh.
A lot of good starts, but just a little too far away.
This is a nice hit. We got the 2 bars. Can we route it correctly? Didn't even need the second bar. Kikoho now putting one on the board. Now it's tied up 1-1. Man, I'm really enjoying these games that tie up.
We've had a lot of close sets like already, and I think pretty much almost every other set was close. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. This one, I feel like, is actually quite slow, though. Like, I can never fully tell, like, who is in the lead at any point. Like, it just feels like, oh, yeah, things are happening very slowly. I say this, but right now, Kikoho finding a massive lead in this corner here. Finding another nice hit in the moon drive as well. Oh, just barely didn't kill, but still falling with the onion ring. Takes first round with a perfect.
Yeah, Pinkujp all of a sudden deprived of a lot of momentum. Let's see if they got something here for us.
They do have a lot of meter though. Things can go nicely.
Try to shield, but getting caught out. That's one of the big things about Warc that makes her offense so strong in this patch. Her multiple charge standing normals makes crouch shielding so dangerous. Right now, however, it is D.A.N. Noel time. Spears are set, but not going for the overhead. Kikoho's only really been responding with either Blood Heat, Moondrive, or Crouch Shield. And Pinkujp's only shown the overhead option once so far. Maybe they're worried about a potential like EX, or maybe an Onion Ring kind of catching themselves out while trying to go for that spear set. But either way, oh goodness gracious. Falling down with the J and getting a hit, but not finishing up the combo there. Clash wars have already begun as well. Suddenly, it feels like Kikoho might be able to take the set.
But didn't finish it off.
But the
And
multiple
clash
clashes
there.
there.
And there wasn't a moon drive for that either, so that was just gonna end right there. Kikoho taking it 2-1 over Pinkujp.
No, there
Moving
was
on
a
up
moon
to
drive.
our top 8.
He moon drive canceled into a moon skill instead of shielding.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Goodness. Yeah, I didn't think about
I'm
that
looking
either.
I'm looking at the tapes here, and they paint the story. That is a very risky option to do when you can just shield counter. But yeah, it felt like I feel like in summation that set was all in Pinkujp's hands, and then they lost the momentum, and things just went from bad to worse. Yeah. Now we've got we got Luna versus Maigo, so we should be seeing some more D.A.N. Noel coming up right now.
And I think while our players get into the lobby, I think I want to send our chatters over to the Matcherino real quick. So we do still have a few more codes in the match arena. All you have to do is go to the link that Ryer just put in the chat. Head on over, hit the claim code button, sign into any one of your socials, whether it be Discord, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Most of us have one of those at this point, if not all of them, so you can sign up with even multiples of those if you want. Just hit a couple buttons, it puts in a little bit more money in the pot, and at the end of it, if you could also look at those sponsor quests, which is just to follow Impy on his socials, it'd be pretty nice. Put a little bit more money at the end of the pot, just so our players have a little nice thing at the end of the night. Oh, and there we go. We do have our players, Lunar and Maigo, which is the D.A.N versus the Mario.
Yeah. Could you talk about Lunar for a moment? I have to step for 1 second, like 2 seconds, but Lunar's DA Noel is quite strong, I would say in general, yeah?
Yeah, Lunar has joined quite a few of our different MBTL brackets and has just shown off just how deadly this character can be. Won quite a few of them, if I remember correctly, like taking almost
won quite a few
majority.
Mashfest. I'll hop in while Towito's stepping away for a second.
So yeah, we do know that Lunar is quite a scary opponent to ever fight.
I've only recently seen Maigo playing. I've seen at the WASD Live, brought the Mario, was very fond of using Moon's skill mid-combo to extend the combo and build a lot of meter up. We'll see if that's still the case, or if maybe that was just some early learnings of the character. I feel like Maigo is someone who probably learns a character pretty quickly, so that might have just been a kind of band-aid to get to the point of proficiency, because I've seen 0 Moon skills so far. Yeah, there's
true.
Well, there's one immediately.
Yeah, that was a really fast round for Maigo.
That was blazing.
Yeah, just knew what they could spend, how to spend it. Doing really nice, but right now getting caught out by the needles. Here's the setup. How are you gonna block it? Just gonna be trying to shield on wake up. Didn't actually even proc the shield either.
Yeah, just barely managed to whiff and still getting a pretty favorable interaction.
I'm not used to seeing that whiff either. Kind of surprised too.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if it was like a Mario thing because he's just too short for it or something.
It would be.
Alright, clashing with the thrust right there. Oh, the nice moon counter. Still now just gonna be kind of setting things back to neutral with the shield thrusts. Shielding
Shield
here.
here, still caught with the spears.
This can cause a little bit of a scramble. Nice block on the overhead. You're just gonna be concentrating the heat for Maigo. Ooh. You could probably end it. Nope, actually just drops it. But this time, we're not going to be dropping that combo. Lunar, bring up a round. Now we are on to round 3 for our first game. And once Lunar finds their pacing, they can do extremely well. So, they found their first few hits. This can go really poorly for Maigo, especially since we're now setting up the spears. Going for the overhead, nice block.
None is punted away right there. A couple of moonskill overheads for Maigo holding for him, just walking back right now. Not going to get caught by that, and Lunar's not close enough to go for a sweep in order to catch that. Probably going to look for a safe heat right here from Maigo right there. Spend the meter, get a bit of moon charge. There we go. Lots of health to recover back too.
Oh, but you might not be recovering as much as you wanted.
Yeah, still
finding a nice hit. Having 4 bars, we're just going to be going into the arc drive.
Yeah.
It's going to be close to killing.
Should be able to kill outright, yeah? There it is.
Yeah. My will it kill score has now gone down a little bit.
Man.
We take those. Lunar. Putting the first game on the board. Wondering how Maigo's going to react to this. What kind of adaptations can we make? They were playing very patient, like, early on. I noticed that they had been taking so much chip damage, considering how many of the spears that Lunar was just throwing.
Speaking of which, spear's already set, but it looks like Luna just wants to opt for the resource gains right there with the moon charge. Hatching Maigo trying to super jump right there by activating the spears. Couple more set now, left, right. Maigo manages to get the shield. The moon skill clashes, or rather trades with Luna right there.
Fatal counter, but now Mario's on his own for a second. Alright, that's a little bit of the new change, I think, right there, which just sent Maigo back into blocking after trying to shield something.
Yeah, on the standings B or C normals, the crouch shield will just be negated, and so you'll take a set amount of chip depending on the strength of the normal, and then it's basically business as usual in a block string.
I think most
Spears
people
set, however, is 50-50 time. Luna dashes out, but Maigo finds a way out of the corner, but still getting caught here. Gonna spend the meter, doesn't even need to.
Lunar, match point right now. A nice air throw from Maigo, but a nice throw for Lunar as a reversal from for the run up right there.
Yeah, looking good for them so far.
I feel like right now Lunar's playing like mostly zoner type of game, and then once I say that, a run up DP just actually start their set play a little bit. Switching the pacing up quite a bit.
A heat and a moon drive. Maigo betting it all on all their resources right now. Here comes the arc drive as well.
Let's see. Maigo makes something happen. They do still have some of the moon drive. Wait. I actually didn't think that that Mario would still get hit even though the counter went off.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised there.
Yeah.
Clash in the air, but both players not really trying to commit super heavily. However, Maigo, nice usage of the nun.
Tying up the rounds. Maigo just needs one more round just to reset things a little bit. The Lunar still very close from taking this. Yep, just gonna be canceling into the EX. Nice block on the overhead from Maigo. This is the point where things just get a little bit dicey. Oh, nice usage of the nun, but doesn't continue with the 3C, but finds a different pickup.
Counter moon drive right there. The axe tosses will work out in his favor.
Really nicely done, but still not continuing.
Oh,
moon drive, or not the moon drive, the blood heat right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not trying to
air
commit to
throw
the
from
shield
Maigo.
wars. Does not want to give Luna a chance right there to just last arc and potentially close out the game.
Oh no. Maigo finding their way out. Lunar pressing a button, I think, there, or just an unfortunate block like mishap.
Yeah, the moon skill nun going off and still finding a way to smack D.A.N. Noel. Shield wars have begun with nuns in hand. Jesus. With the moon drive there, gonna have a lot of meter to play with for the mix-ups right now. A couple of spears are set, but Maigo doesn't really need to interact with it that closely. Heat in response. Parry goes off, but not gonna work out when the meter is spent there.
Yeah. Very nicely done for Lunar. Picking that up, taking it 2 over Maigo. Even though that felt really close after a while. Like I was actually getting really scared.
Yeah. Jeez.
But I do find it interesting. Right there, the parry actually goes off, but it still does not eat the projectile.
Luna had the awareness too to know to go into EX that would hit and that would confirm into the win. I think that's really impressive.
Yeah, pretty smart from them.
Matcherino donation? Question mark? That pot is a little bigger. Let's see. Yes, we have Goo contributing $30 to the Matcherino. Thank you, Goo. We appreciate the contribution. That puts us over $100. All the codes are used. We do have a stretch goal. We have a few, but our first stretch goal is $150. We can get this pot to $150 for this amazingly stacked bracket. We will pay out top 4 instead of top 3. So consider contributing, using some of your Matcherino balance, doing the sponsor quests if you haven't done that already. We cannot get free money with codes. Those have been used up. But yeah, we're only $42-ish away from top 4 payout.
Yeah.
And we are in our top 8 now. So
Yeah, do you want to talk about some of the players in this top 8? We've got there's a lot of really strong people that are in winner side, and everybody in loser is a killer in their own right.
Yeah, loser side, the players that are currently trying to get into top 8, all of them extremely deadly, and I'm honestly kind of concerned about who will and will not make it there. But for our winner side, we do have Lucybruv and Kikoho. Lucy, who we have not seen quite yet, still always doing well as normal. But Kikoho, after just taking it over Pinkujp in that one set, I'm wondering how they're going to be going into this. We did see that they were going for the Warc, but Lucy, who plays like a majority of the cast, has like basically anyone they can play for that.
Yeah, it feels like every other day I see Lucy on a different character. I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, like they played Kouma, like cool. Oh, they played Vlov in this bracket. Oh, it's someone else. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then they'll still be like playing like super well. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
That's what you get when a game has really strong system mechanics. You can jump around to characters pretty quickly and leverage your system mechanic mastery to, cover your bad matchups, learn a character that covers your bad matchups. I think we might see the Roa today, though. I think Roa is very strong this patch and always a go-to for Lucy.
Yeah, I remember Lucy
we also have
mainly Roa at the beginning.
Luna versus Omnisscythe is also in winner's side. Luna, of course, D.A.N. Noel. Omnisscythe I've seen on P.Ciel. I've heard a couple other characters, but I think largely P.Ciel.
Yeah, pretty much when P.Ciel dropped, they've been on her constantly.
And then rounding out losers, top 8 will contain the winner of Maigo and Low, the winner of Shadeprince and Shishi, the winner of Yui and Negareaper, and the winner of Pinkujp and Star. So I think we've actually seen almost all of them that I just listed on stream at some point. The only one I think we didn't see was Low.
Yeah. Low was currently the only one we haven't seen, but even still, like,
so you'll see some of your repeat good performers in that loser side top 8. I'm gonna call Lucy and Kikoho up right now.
So as stated before, that's gonna be the Warc versus the world at that point. A little interested to see. Now I think about it, does Warc really have that many like full-on losing matchups? Because I can't really think of any character that she just flat out like, this isn't a good matchup.
I can't remember off the top of my head actually. Now that I really think about it.
Just conceptually speaking, someone who would kind of police her ability to jump and throw fireballs would perhaps be a more struggling matchup, but it's not like those are even close to her only tools. And, it's not like she could just choose to neglect doing that. And it's not like she has terribly many other, like, weak points. She might be a little slow, but in this game that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I see the Kouma though. I'm gonna get hype if we see the Lucy Kouma. It's like my favorite thing to watch in this game.
I'm actually wondering, like, of all like the like mostly zoner type characters, I feel like Kouma does the best against like Warc. Since they don't really have to worry, like the fireballs are really good. They're really strong, but they do approach a little bit slower, so you can just kind of dash block and like just shield them at ready like any moment.
This Kouma Warc.
Ooh, you were talking about that too, weren't you?
Kouma Warc. As someone that has played 20 games with Foxes before, I hate this matchup. Whereas right now, let me tell you something. This matchup is annoying, but Lucy's played it a lot before. They actually have a setup with Foxes where they play like a first attempt. It's like an hour long. So this is something that they are very confident in, I would say, and have done before. So we'll just have to see what how it plays out here. But there's a lot of interesting things, and I think that Lucy has a very solid Kouma, especially with their game plan against Warc.
Starting off, Lucy just going with a long concentrate, trying to go for the shield afterward, after the teleport there. Kikoho finding a really nice combo into 4.8. Oh, just gonna be getting hit with the low. Lucy, wow, nice counter hit with the falling JC, swapping sides now.
Yeah, and we're gonna see that Oki with the 2A, 5A whiff right there pretty frequently. As I understand it, the left-right mix there, the tell is basically if you see Kouma kind of like edge forward a little bit before he does the 5A. And there's that. This is a really cool route off of the DP. Lets you side swap and gets pretty good range here. Ends with the 2-2A, keeping themselves plus, nice and safe and sound. And there's the dash blocks you're going to see constantly throughout this matchup. Kind of sit in place and watch Warc spin her hands for like 20 minutes sometimes.
Nice.
Right now, Lucy. Yeah. And there's the 3C. This button, good God, saves Kouma in a lot of situations where Warc would normally be able to JB an opponent.
I feel like Kouma 3C is like the anti-tier I see the most out of like any other character.
This button is brawling. It's massive, great invuln. Hitbox got buffed in this patch. It is super good. 2B is also stellar as well, but 3C really is that obnoxious range to even cover the J7BC. And you'll see it a lot you'll see this 3C Rekka series quite a bit because it covers a ton of space as he gets the kill here. Or as they get the kill here, rather, sorry. You'll see that a ton in order to catch the fuzzy jumped attempts, right? So we already see that Lucy is establishing that, especially with the Rekka in order to frame trap afterwards. And then you have to deal with Rekka offense.
Yeah. Wait a minute. That was already game one.
That was game one.
Lucy already taking up a game over Kikoho. That was extremely fast.
Yeah, normally games get slower as you move into top 8, but we're speeding up.
Yeah, I know. Our players know exactly what to do and like how to maximize every situation. And so like these can just go super fast. Oh, even going into the command grab, baiting out possibly the third Rekka for the overhead and just continuing on.
Yeah, you'll see the Rekka whiff sequence a lot in order for the high-low throw mix up there. Lucy's a pretty big fan of it in general. It is a bit of manual timing, which does demand some consistency out of you, but it is very good mix in general. Lucy right now getting the hit. Already at set point right now against Kikoho. Seeing a decent amount of jumps right here. And you can see Lucy has a lot of respect for Warc JB, and you have to. That button is brolic. Let me tell you something. That thing is absolutely massive. Kouma can't really armor through it confidently as well because the hitbox is so big. It usually will catch him out a bit early as well. So you really have to respect it quite a bit. Right now, Kikoho in the lead should be able to steal it right now with the meter into... You're going to spin it on Arc Drive? No! 214C, and suddenly this might be a... this might get interesting. Same side. All right, probably going to pop the heat now. No, it doesn't opt for it. Crosses up this time. Are you going to pop it now, or are you just going to try to kill them?
It could happen to you. It could happen to you. Oh!
Not quite there. That's the one problem with the Moondrive cancel off Rekka. When your opponent heats, you can find yourself landing.
Oh, just the tap shield right there at the end. The fireball just catching Lucy.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh, there's the
teleport right there.
Yeah, trying to see if they could catch while falling, I think. Because I think you can do that, even though like that teleport has like an extremely high hitbox for some reason.
Yeah, it's big. I'll just put it that way, and it's invuln, so
yes,
there's just a lot.
That teleport
Over.
is really nice. I love it.
Yeah. Kikoho starting to find some good hits now. Let's see if they can generate some clean offense here.
Oh, the blood heat for Lucy.
Not really going to be able to throw out projectiles now, but Kikoho dashing in here, now going to eat the arc drive.
Oh, that's so much damage.
Lucy with a bit of a life lead now. Still, you got to keep Kikoho contained right now. You do not want to get caught out in a bad situation. Couple of good shields here. Hit with the unblockable, you have to stand shield that.
Kikoho.
2 bars is not going to be enough to kill here, but it's certainly going to put Lucy in a bad situation. Good tech, but still immediately following.
Very nicely done for Kikoho to tie it up. Lucy going back to the room. I wonder, they're going to be switching characters?
Probably the
Seems
Vlov.
like it.
This is a Vlov switch.
Could be Roa as well.
It's Vlov.
You're right.
You get to bully Warc way faster at max range. That's like
Of course.
the like surface level of like the first surface level Vlov that I have. Warc has to be more mindful of projectiles. JB is less of a factor when you're able to jail effectively with Fireball into EX Wreck Up, so on and so forth. Those are some of the things that we might see a bit more. And speaking of fireballs in the air, huh?
Starting off with the fatal counter into the moon drive, take as much as you can get. That did nearly half health.
Yeah, I would say starting off with about 4.7 is pretty good.
Yep, that's pretty good. Oh, just do it again.
Yeah,
oh, no.
And there's the fireballs again, catching out those movements. We saw a lot of super jump JB from Kikoho. Pretty common movement pattern for Warc, but when you're dealing with the Vlov, who's able to cover a ton of space, it is maybe not always ideal there. You have to show a lot of different options. Warc does have her teleports to work with, speaking of which, but still. Trying to set up an air unblockable right there, but not catching out Kikoho. They get to cash out instead and use an entire arc drive.
Lucy finding they have to heat, but there's the flame carpet into the arc drive just to take that round.
And that's the thing, the harassment from full screen as Vlov is so potent, even against Warc. You know, you were kind of pointing out the projectiles taking some time to come out against the Kouma matchup. This is where it's very prominent, I would say.
Yeah. Because Vlov's projectiles do happen nearly instantly, I feel. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's
especially
not
when
even
it's the flame
necessary.
carpet.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it gets the mix there. It's not even necessarily the 236X. It's more so that preemptive 2-2B shuts out that, like, projectile entirely. Throw bait with the dash up moon skill fireball. Next hit will definitely kill. Heat. There it is. Gets the air throw, however. Shield, BC counter. Back to full screen, and we're chilling. Tries to go for the 2-2X, which anti-airs.
I cannot believe that anti-air, that was so close.
And drive
that was
cancel
an
wanted
attempt
to
at an air throw?
Perhaps an air throw or a JA, don't know, but it looks like to me they wanted to end it all there. Dashing up forward, just pushing Kikoho quickly to the corner there.
Still Kikoho.
And now, look at all the respect that Kikoho has. It still gets caught out by the JB.
Lucy taking that extremely well at the end there.
Yeah.
Taking it 2-1.
That's the difference between when you play a bad matchup and a good matchup. Or better.
One
I
just
don't know if
happens
it's necessarily
so much
good.
faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, we already have our next player, and holy crap.
Is that Omnisscythe though?
Let me take a look.
I'm muted.
Used to seeing the P.Ciel.
Yeah, you're muted.
I was muted. We got a $10 donation from Pimentel.
Oh, there's the P.Ciel.
On the Matcherino. Thank you so much.
Yay.
We appreciate it. Yep. We're almost at $120 now.
Heck yeah. Okay, yeah, this is Omnisscythe. I don't know why players always have the most wacky Steam and PSN names. It's always hard to tell who's who. So I'll have to like look at the bracket. But this will be Omnisscythe versus Lunar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these two playing against each other, I would say, is not uncommon, given that they are both frequently seen in the top 8s. Do you recall kind of last time they've played, perhaps?
I do actually.
Tell me about
It
it.
was a very close one. If I remember correctly, Omnisscythe, I think they were first sent to. They were sent to losers by Lunar. I think they re-met up at one point. Yeah, I think they re-met possibly either losers finals or it may have been. No, actually, I think it was losers finals, and I think recently it was Omnisscythe that had actually taken it. My memory might be a little bit hazy.
Yeah, I think either
It
of them
has been a
taking it
while.
would be surprising.
Yeah. But if I
go.
remember correctly, it was Omnisscythe. I was actually extremely happy for them because I do love seeing their P.Ciel and play it anytime I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, these two can go back and forth for an eternity, I feel. Ooh, nice air hit. Nothing yet. Oh wait, the lightning doesn't even come out because the small hit from the spears.
Yeah, dang. And suddenly it feels like Luna's managed to scrape by a couple of interesting hits at like full screen, barely clipping Omnisscythe, but it still converts into good damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even with these just small little poke outs, they eventually just lead up to so much, and Lunar just gets to keep all the momentum that they ever feel like. But right now, Omnisscythe taking them into the corner, doing a decent chunk of damage, spending the meter.
Yeah, that's 4.6 for one bar. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
2-2C into Rekka right now, ending pressure relatively safely, but Luna air dashing out of the corner. Spears are set. And Omni yeah, caught the jump out, wasn't able to block yet.
Mm-hmm. Setting down some extra set play. Let's see. There's the shield. No follow-up, so Lunar just backs off for a bit. They are really okay with just taking it to full screen and having Lunar just either concentrate or continue to zone out with extra spears.
Yeah.
Wow, that was an awkward trade. Works out a little bit better for Lunar, catching out with the this pop on the spears.
Here we go, though, left and right. The Moondrive does give you the invulnerability, and you get to see the situation way better. However, again, still caught at full screen. The zoning capabilities of D.A.N Noel are proving really useful for Luna here, but B follow up with a Fatal, you gotta end him right now.
Yeah, going into the arc drive, not gonna waste anything. You want the kill right now.
Spend it all and stay alive. That's a big thing here.
Mm-hmm. All right, round 3 of our game 1. Oh, nice long concentrate. Just get some meter, get some moon back. Both players actually just taking the time to concentrate.
Yeah, it's more important, however, for Omnisscythe right now because he now has full moon gauge to work with here. Mm-hmm. That moon drive is going to last forever if he opts to use it. Hard knockdown here. All right, what we got for the mix? Kept it safe with there. Wow! I think the J3 breach just... Oh, okay.
Wow, just taking it off with that. But yeah, you're right with the... I think that was the J3B. Just doing extremely nicely there. And Omnisscythe actually taking our game 1 there.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Wow. Alright. Just taking a moment to get into our next game.
I still think this is going 1-1, I'll be honest.
Like, it's gonna be like a 2-1 type thing?
I think it's going to be a close set.
Yeah. I think it might be, but I don't think either of these players want to. Like, the more that you have to fight each other, it is heart-pounding, I feel. Man, that was 4.2 from one bar as well. Very nice. And we're now using the Moon Drive, the EX DP, or the Moon Drive DP, I mean. twice, both of them getting punished.
Jesus. Luna's really trying it with these defensive options, but Omni's not letting them go.
Oh, and even the throw to end it off. Just one more round for Omnisscythe. They took that one by storm. Wow. Alright, Lunar already starting off a little bit. Their offense just going to be trying to set up still.
3 bars, 2 now. Got a lot of meter to play with for their mix. Yep, here we go again. Can he guess right too? Okay, there we go. Backdash works out.
Concentrating a little bit, trying to get some more moon back, but right now Lunar's just going to be starting to zone out a bit.
Yeah, the big thing here in this matchup against D.A.N. Noel in general is that Moondrive is such a strong defensive tool in order to help you get out of that mix. And so you can see the way how Omnisscythe is prioritizing it, but because Omnisscythe backed off to such a high degree, Luna was able to just get their hits and still take the round pretty comfortably.
Yeah, didn't even take all too much damage. I think the damage that they did have was mostly just for their own concentrates.
Yeah, it was mostly just, mostly straight up moon charge.
Yep. But right now, Omnisscythe finding the first hit. You can't let a player like Lunar get momentum, because once they start, it's all over. But right now, Omnisscythe's the one that's getting everything that they wanted. They do have the moon drive in response, baiting out the DP. Both players do it. Just
I like the BC there, still gets them out of the range of the spears. Luna going in with the ADB, but Omnisscythe just holding still. Oh, getting clipped by the ICJ normal.
Yeah, it was decent defense until that part. Now things getting set up again. Getting hit with the overhead, that's not good.
Another bar to spend for more spear sets. This could determine the round.
Can we get a heat from Omnisscythe at some point? No, this is just going to be it. Lunar taking the game. It is now 1-1. It was as close as you said it would be.
Yeah, denied right there. You could tell that... Omni's waiting for an ideal situation to go for a heat. But unfortunately, it just did not come to pass. They couldn't get a hard knockdown, safe heat setup, or whatsoever. So,
yeah,
Luna managing to get that hit right there.
There are some points where I feel like it's almost necessary to take a little bit of a risk just to get that heat. Because at that point, it's actually wondering just how much more of a danger it is to just be at that low health, or just to try to take the heat when you can.
True, but we've seen Luna get a lot of damage over time, straight up just off of spear, like air spear especially, into EX follow-up.
Yeah, they do, even if it's on block, the amount of chip damage that Lunar is just willing to take, it is actually astonishing.
Yeah, bit by bit. Here we go.
Setting up more spears, just going to be using it for the spacing control. Lunar's really good about that, just using the detonates just for any amount of control that they can. Just set them out, just pop them, just so they can go for a concentrate, maybe some more air spears. But right now, Omnisscythe calling that out, getting a nice combo.
Luna with the wake up mash, however, it looks like Omnisscythe was not prepared for that. Good blocks. Try to go for a throw in there, but whiffs.
Yeah, throw whiff into an actual throw.
Throw whiff is plus, my friend.
Yo, if you whiff a throw, they're never gonna expect the second one. I'm telling you.
There's more truth to that than I'm willing to admit.
Yep.
Safe heat. Here we go.
Yep.
2C still recovering in time, but the shield wars clashing with moon skill DP. It looked like there.
And there was no moon drive to call it back or anything. So instead, we're just gonna be going on to our round 2. Lunar just one round away. Oh, there's the A follow-up after the shield. Just get a nice combo. 3 bars. We can set up the spears. Oh, there's the mix. Oh, this is not gonna be looking good. We still got more bar, more spears.
A lot more mix-ups to rock with. Heat gets baited by the overhead right now. 2 bars, spent the moon drive early, reverse prorate the combo, looked for the arc drive, not gonna get it, but after the follow-up scramble, still takes the kill and gets the set.
Very nicely done for Lunar there, taking it 2-1 over Omnisscythe. Wow, man. That was... You were right, that was close. That was extremely close. And I'm really impressed still all the same by Omnisscythe with the way that they were trying to like counter things that Lunar wanted, but Lunar just willing to adapt, willing to change it up, still always doing well with their space control, with their spears, the chip damage, taking them every moment they can for concentrates. They optimize their game plan a lot, and it's still scary no matter what you do to fight them. And not only that, they have crazy mix. They always have the meter just to go for more spears. Once again, because of all those little concentrates, or just because they're doing everything that they need in order to have tons of bar. Only spending the moon drive when they need to. It's mostly just for the reversals too. It's just for the moon drive, which admittedly got them into a little deep water at one point against Omnisscythe, but after a bit, they just, it wasn't even a problem anymore. It was extremely impressive to watch Lunar again. But right now, it seems like we're going to be having our new players come up. We already got Shadeprince into the lobby.
I believe they are playing, they're going to be playing Low. Okay.
I think Low made an appearance at the
against
WASD
Maigo.
Live as well. I don't remember if I'm mixing up names.
I think they did go to the live.
Ooh, red name, double damage.
Imagine that you got a buff for being a red name.
That'd be insane.
I
The
would.
meta would be shifted forever.
Toxicity equals extra damage, both physical and mental.
True. And here we go. This is going to be the Power P.Ciel again versus Arcuied.
Mhm.
This is our third so far, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Hmm. Because we had the one that was up against Shishi, and then there was Omnisscythe just now. Yeah, this is the third P.Ciel.
That is indeed the third. Now,
Rocking
Lowe's,
the-
my knowledge, are really, really strong in P.Ciel as well. I think they win a few different events. I just don't remember which ones exactly. That's my only problem. Bad memory at times.
Happens.
But yeah, still though, Shadeprince playing on the Arcuied, we saw before that they can do extremely well with this. A lot of air mobility right now. Neither player is wanting to get all too close. Oh, was that a?
That was a 3B. I don't think they wanted that.
Yeah, that is a 3B.
I think they were looking for something else there. Good tech on the throw here. Immediate ADP.
Nice throw for Shadeprince. Good tech. I actually thought that one was gonna catch the backdash. I can never tell if that's actually like 2B or 5, or like 2C or 5C.
Yeah.
Either way, both the chain swords are low. Like they're not low, they're really long.
Yeah.
I think that one's
15 seconds left on the clock, by the way.
Oh wow, yeah. There was a lot of time that was just spent jumping around in the air.
Now, let's see if Low opts for the damage here, or just kind of goes like, all right, and backs off and goes to the timer kill here. No! Tried to go for the charge 2C! Oh my god, and the great arc drive response. They could have just gone for the timeout, but I don't think they recognized the situation necessarily. But man, really good on Shadeprince to recognize that their response right there for the kill.
Now Shadeprince finding the early offense. Oh, there's the plus frames with the vacuum move like you mentioned before. +6 was it?
Yeah, it's very plus, let's put it that way.
Very. Still Low finding their way back. Be trying to take this close to the other corner.
There's the delay A follow-up to catch the BC shield counter. Not going to be able to finish their combo, however. Shadeprince now on the back foot with this combo from Low.
Low has all the meter in the world to work with. Spending 1 bar, 3.8, not bad, not bad. Right now, it's probably gonna be trying to work with these long-range normals. As I mentioned before, they can just zone with these normals, making it even more scary. But at the same time, Shadeprince in their face. Doesn't matter as much. There we go. Starting our offense. There's the 2C. Continuing on. Low finding around.
Still in our first game here. Oh my god, ADP barely whiffing. Gonna be good corner here, carry here. Probably gonna spend the bar for the hard knockdown. And there we go. 4.2 is looking pretty good. A lot of shield interactions, however, at mid-screen here. And, ooh, not quite closing out the combo there.
Spending some meter, trying to continue on. Shadeprince finding their way in. Nice block on the overhead.
Yeah. Good adaptation to Low's offense. Recognize that 2C setup right there. Good moon driving the shield, but the war is following up. And it seems that it has been won by Arcuied.
Now just going to be using one bar, get the nice knockdown into the setup. Other side, but now you're going to be having to worry about the moon drive. Nice tech. Nice hit for Shadeprince here. Has so much meter. Just going to be spending it for the knockdown.
Yeah, just barely not enough for EX Rekka or Arc Drive there. Might have killed if they had the opportunity. However, lots of meter to work with there. I don't think they wanted the 2-2X there. Oh, Arc Drive to punish again!
That is such a nice reaction on the Thunder Call.
Yeah.
Just to Arc Drive there. Great reactions from Shadeprince just to take game 1 there.
Both rounds of them won purely off of, well, not purely, in the last interaction of an Arc Drive punish.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of funny to really think about. Just holding on to the meter and just using it for the reactions. I mean, hey, if you have the reactions to do that, go for it. I'm all for it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. But all the same still. Right now, Low does not care about any of your reactions. I'm more caring about how you can deal with my pressure and my damage. Still continuing on with these rebeats in the 2Cs. Nice hit. Low finished this out with just one bar. Yes, we can. Low taking round 1 with a perfect there. Very nicely done.
Looking good for them so far. There's that ADP whiffing. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of the ADPs just been coming out from these P.Ciel players.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's meant to be a 236A and they're getting it by accident on the, like, dashing it, or trying to, like, dash up 236A, but still something to note. Nice moving right there to punch the 5C.
Up and drop there at the end.
That's a big thing. And I like the adjustment, using that moon skill elbow. +1 now and absurdly fast. Really good way to establish your presence even at full screen.
And it starts off things really nicely, especially now that Low is in the corner. Try to go for a run-up after the vacuum move. That's plus, but you're still going to get hit in the face if you're going to be trying to go for a throw right there.
Yeah. Can't be dashing up necessarily at their range. People are going to be looking for something. There's a 2C rebeats you were talking about. Counter hit throw.
Blood heat getting spent here into the moon drive. Really nicely done for Shadeprince. Probably just going to go into the arc drive right here. Yes, we do. Just going to end it right there. Shadeprince, he needs one more round. Low being patient a bit, but maybe a little too patient with the low shield getting thrown. Decent tech that time. An A shield follow-up from Shadeprince. Just everything's going their way right now. Has an extra bar to play around with.
Let's see.
Overhead,
Below,
blood
full
heat.
meter. There's the blood heat.
Moon drive, there's the shield. You're probably not going to be going with any of the follow-ups at that point. Don't
Yeah,
want to
smartly
play around with a
backs
nuke.
off. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Might as well just keep it at mid-screen and just chill out for a moment. Shadeprince getting the throw here. Alright, let's see what our mix-ups are. Immediate shield gets B, but no counter hit.
Yeah, without counter hit, you can't really make a follow-up after that.
Good tech. Doesn't get the EX cancel though. Either didn't recognize the shield clash or was just too late on it.
Yep. Now Low gets to start their pressure. Safe heat activation.
We are just sitting and watching.
A nice shield on the elbow.
God, yeah. Still able to get it off of the JC here. Not going to be able to kill off this situation, but looking very good for Low right now.
One hit away. 14 seconds on the clock. Are they going to play it slow unlike last time? No, they're just going to go for the throw to end it out. Low putting one up on the board. Tied it up again. We're just going to be rematching pretty quickly there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone to the lobby and just taken a moment, but going right into it.
That was extremely close for both players. I would have needed a moment, but still, these players feel like they're both playing hot, so might as well. Keep the momentum. Nice JC. Catch the tap high shield.
And back to neutral right now. Both players just whiffing a lot of things in front of each other. Low especially, of course, wants to present those JCs and other air normals in order to keep Arcuied out.
Yep. Alright. Oh, a nice use of the 5C to catch the jump out, but not enough to end the round. But the charge 2C does take it.
Yeah,
Low.
Low has not been using that option very much at all. Really good choice there.
You gotta change up your options every now and again. There was the overhead right there, which I don't think we've been seeing either.
Yeah.
A nice A shield follow-up after the moon thrust. Both players using moon drive, don't want to get counted out. Below finding a good situation here. Has 3 bars, gonna spend 1. Get this a little bit closer to the corner.
Yeah. I like the counter Moondriver from earlier, but committed to air shield, and I'm not sure what they were looking for there necessarily. Now Low's got the throw. They're at set point. Things can go from bad to worse. Off of the right hit, Low could definitely kill.
And this might be it if we can combo into Arc Drive at some point.
Probably Moon Skill into it. Yep. And it is. Low setting up for the mirror for their next set potentially. And moving on in the loser's side.
Very, very nicely done for Low there. Shadeprince played very well, but even still, some of the adaptations just worked out really nicely for Low.
Yeah, they're working out very well.
I feel like a lot of the time the neutral interactions we're just gonna be going towards Low in those situations. As we mentioned before, it is really nice to have those longer buttons just to throw out there, especially in neutral, and catching out some of the Shadeprince's shields that were just like slightly mistimed.
Yeah, it felt like Shadeprince understood that they wanted to take it slowly, you know, dash up a bit, maybe wait a full screen for an option, throw in an elbow here and there, but again, it felt like they really just didn't have a more concrete plan for dealing with neutral. And so there was a lot of times where the interactions ended up like out of their favor, you know, multiple times. So just perhaps something to take a look at earlier. And then the offense was generally fine, I would say. But not as much like charge like 5B or other mix-up options, which is a bit surprising.
All right. Now we have on to our next game, which will be Negareaper versus Pinkujp. Oh, don't you dare.
Yeah, I don't think they're picking. I don't think they're picking Nago Arc.
All right. So now we have Miyako and the D.A.N. So no Mashu this time. No 3 Mashus in a trench coat.
Looks like they made it this far and they're like, screw it, like it's time to just stick to Miyako for this.
I got the mastery practice. Now it's back to the main.
I will say Pinku's definitely A-okay with sitting at full screen and charging up resources. The incoming set play from D.A.N Noel off of the first hit is going to be pretty potent with these resources. But the EX stomp from Negareaper in order to catch out Pinku at full screen.
That stomp may have actually just started off a huge offense for Reaper right now. Oh, getting another throw. Taking them out of the corner, though. I'm wondering about that. I wonder if that was a misinput right there.
Not too sure, but these interactions going really in favor of Negareaper right now. Charging up for a bit more. There's the overhead as well. Gotta remember, you got the mid. It hits mid first, so you do have a bit of extra time to figure out what's going on.
A nice shield for Reaper. Getting knocked down, though. There's the 2C. The overhead. Pinku now finding their way in. Their momentum gets started.
4 bars to play around with. That is more than enough to use their set play in order to clean up the round. Forcing out the moon drive, draining the resources out from Negareaper, and still getting a hit after the fact. Not able to finish up the combo there, but this is a very good position for them. Trying to dash in from full screen there, but gets caught by the JC, I believe, right there. Unfortunate. Trying to dash in aggressively with the ADP. No air blockable from there. Negareaper starved for resources right now. Not a BC follow-up to their name. Putting themselves in the spears as well is dangerous. And the spear call also whiffs right now.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a hitbox all the way up there.
Yeah, not quite like the moon skill spear, but Pinku still manages to take the round, however. Looks like they want to play it a bit more aggressively. They really don't want to let Negareaper approach on their own terms. We've seen Pinku at a couple of times, like in some brackets, kind of struggle against people that at times will just blaze in and run forward and just hold IC6. Whoa, my goodness. Okay, moon skill elbow. Here we go. It is now party time. And Pinku does not wish to drink.
Look, I don't feel like a party right now. I'm here to win. Just gonna go for the DP into the EX. Just wanting to take pressure back. Oh, but there's the elbow again. Into the throw. Let's see how far we can take it with this.
Oh, big scramble right now. Let's go DP. Does not connect. Pinku getting the hit this time. Let's see if they can convert into their set play. Spears are set. Safe heat is made. Shield is baited. Life is looking real good.
Yeah, even going into the EX and the arc drive. I thought the timer ran out right there.
Yeah, I thought they did not have enough time.
Still getting nearly 5k off that. Really nicely done. There's the extra anti-air.
Yeah, the air unblockable. That was insane. Got the late air dash of normals, so it jailed Negareaper and just barely landed on time in order to jail with the 5A, 5B. Air unblockable rather than 5A, 5B.
Very nicely done for Pinku. Reaper was doing some quite nice stuff. Once their offense gets started, Pinku doesn't have as many ways of getting out. There's another run-up ADP. We've been seeing that a lot from different players.
Yeah, it's gone without being punished very much, so it looks like it's relatively safe, just based on the play around it so far. There's a very smart EX stomp in order to call out the spear sets from Pinku at full screen. Really creative use of Miyako's tools right here. Trying to go for... I can't tell if that was an intentional air reset attempt or if they just whiffed the auto combo or 3C maybe. Either way, Pinku dashing up with the 623A. Spears are set, but at mid-screen, overhead now. There's the B follow-up, catching out the immediate shield from Pinku. But we mash in the White House. Let's get started.
Yeah,
Spears are set. And punishing the B follow-up. Ideally,
nice
Pinku's just going to go for
there.
the same situation, but the drop. Moon skill elbow just
missed.
not connecting there. Pinku up backing just out of range.
Fatal counter to start things off for Pinku. That's going to be pretty nice. Just setting out a couple of the spears.
Pinku looked like it was
Nice
opting
default.
for a moon skill. Not too sure what it was there, but got caught out by the B follow-up there. Clash Wars, you know how it is. Tetsuzanko, Moondrive countered. Pinkujp not able to jail with the height they have right there, but a great pickup into a dropped combo.
The 2-2C is gonna whiff on someone in the air.
Yeah, looks like Pinkujp's very aware of it, probably opting for a bit more of the TK Spear set or just waiting out the response from Negareaper. Both players also opting to charge up for a lot more resources. They counter air throw. There's the moon skill DP again.
Nice shield, but these haven't been getting all too much for Negareaper. There's the 2-2C getting shielded this time.
Yeah. Pinkujp now showing off their reaction time. They're saying, like, hey, I know you have this option. I really don't care.
Yeah,
Gets the shield out from Negareaper. There's the heat. Yeah, very ready for it. And Pinkujp taking that 2-0.
Very, very nicely done on this this D.A.N. Noel. Yeah, baiting out a lot of things from Negareaper anytime they really felt like it. Reaper did have, like, as you mentioned, some really interesting plays that I think actually makes the matchup kind of interesting, like, and fun, with just the 2-2C to call out a lot of things that that D.A.N wants to do in the neutral. But
yeah, I think Stomp as an option in general is very... Stomp, I think, is a really cool tool in general, obnoxious as it is sometimes, but, you know, I play Kouma, so I'm already hitting buttons at close to you. I think Stomp is very cool in that sense, and I do like that they displayed it that way. We did see eventually Pinkujp kind of like snapping it for a moment, saying, okay, actually, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm just going to shield this. You don't really have much following up afterwards. Like, what you got for me?
All right, so we're moving on to losers quarterfinals now. That's going to be Kikoho and Lo, as well as Omnisscythe and Pinkujp. So 2 really exciting matches coming up.
very, very nice.
We'll be seeing, yeah, 2 powered CLs, one right after another. Let's see.
So first off is going to be powered versus Warc.
Yes.
So we have either the chain sword or the onion rings. Very nice to see.
Big old knife. But yeah. Warc is not as common of a character that you would expect with her strength, I feel like. But oh wait, this is a double red name. Hey Ryer, it's a double red name.
It's quad damage.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Double the power with double the players. Love to see it. This is going to be explosive, if anything.
yeah, let's see what both players got for each other. Right now, this is in top 8 loser side for Monday Night Mashfest. Let's see what the round start is. Probably expecting a 5C or a projectile. Yeah,
Projectile.
no 5C to speak of, but the low will catch Kikoho. I mean, God, the low will catch low. Damn it. I'm gonna get caught by this. Okay.
Possibly.
Possibly.
But as of right now, Kikoho doing pretty well. Low still looking okay on health. Can still make it back, but Kikoho just has only been taking damage from themselves with the concentrates.
Yeah, there's that 7 VC. Good God. Powerful tool since day one.
Oh, this can get things started a little bit for Low. Does have 3 bars. Are we ever gonna see spend a bid and then go into the safe heat? Nope, just saving things.
Oh,
Moon
2
Assault
shield
in the
interactions in a row. Yeah, leave low without any moon gauge whatsoever.
But for both players, actually, no moon gauge to be seen. But bar meter on the bottom, that's full. Nice JC to kind of clash things out. But these little concentrates that Kikoho's been getting did really nice. Already now has enough for moon drive, but even still takes a nice chunk of damage. Can use the moon drive on wake up here if chosen. Nope, just blocks the overhead, but takes the lightning. Oh, and there it is. A decent amount of chip from that because that was a 5C against the low shield right there. And this is going to be enough to kill for low. Did not even have to spend any meter. Very nicely done.
The resources to play right here, right now. Kikoho trying to go for those JBs. Again, a very strong button. Like, frankly, approach tool, defensive tool, neutral tool. It does it all, basically. Right now, low is keeping themselves relatively safe, setting up the air unblockable right there, expecting the jump out from Kikoho, and therefore going for the 5C.
The 5C does a really nice job of just keeping people in pressure and making sure that even if they try to jump out, it's not going to work. Oh, but there's the A follow-up after the shield assault.
Speaking of, back to the shield wars. But it results in low getting back to neutral, which is pretty A-okay if I were them. Messing up their dash block, it looks like, getting caught by the onion ring.
Another shield war. This one works out for low. Man, P.Ciel combos look cool.
They're awesome. I love them so much.
Even
knockdown now.
DP. 5C just to see about catching people going out for the jump.
Yeah, catching Kikoho on the release as well. The other thing about playing at that range is that you get to bait heat very, like, easily, right? Like, you're absolutely in a safe range. It doesn't really matter all that much, and I don't think most Warcs are going to press a reversal option there.
Yeah. So far, we do have low going up one game. I still feel like this has been pretty close. We might still see a comeback from Kikoho.
Potentially. But for now, gunshots ringing out in the training room right now with low getting the counter hit there.
Doing a lot of damage.
Already.
Some good corner carry. There's both the shield wars. Yeah, shield wars have actually been quite a big factor in this, I feel.
Yeah, there have been a lot of shield interactions. Oh god, there's the moon drive. Okay.
Building a lot
Center
of
on the
meter.
full screen, you're doing A-okay. Get back in.
Couldn't catch the backdash though, sadly. Still blocking everything but the throw.
There's the 6 CRPS. That button does. Oof. That button does a lot. For now, though, Kikoho gonna probably lose the round here so far. Good confirm from low. Spend a bar and clean it up. Low now at set point.
Starting things off with the DP.
Okay, well, you know, getting 4K meterlessly off of an ADP, I can see why the powered CLs have been slamming it every 5 seconds.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's also probably a way to dissuade people from, like, using their jumps, like, early round start before, like, the time's actually finished and everything. But, goodness, wow, that was a lot of damage.
This is
early.
already almost a round. Heat probably coming up. There it is, and
one,
again...
yeah. As you mentioned before, that spacing just works out super well, but oh, it dropped! So now Kikoho does get an opportunity, but with no bar and no moon to speak of, this is going to be difficult. Low finding the hit with the moon skill and takes it, going 2-0 over Kikoho. Very nicely done, Low.
Okay. That almost became very, very messy. I'm not going to lie. If I'm low and I lose that round there, I'm devastated and I'm immediately losing the game. But we don't have to worry about any of the hypotheticals because low did manage to close it out. But that could have looked like a very different set, depending on only a couple of interactions there.
Yeah.
And as we're moving forward, we now have Omnisscythe coming up here. So this will be yet another powered CL. And they will be going up against Pinkujp. So this will be the powered CL versus the D.A.N. Noel. We are weeding out the D.A.N. Noels and the powered CLs. 2 have entered in the bracket. 1 will be in loser's side, 1 will be in winner's side for each character.
Funny enough, this would actually just be the same matchup that Omnisscythe had played in their winner's side, which was against Lunar. So now they have a little bit of experience already with the D.A.N. Noel.
Well, in this particular bracket, yeah, and you know, they've been around the block. They've played a ton of people at this point, Omnisscythe. So I'm expecting them to have some level of... I'm sorry, I'm just caught off guard by them going to auto pass and going back.
Oh, it's
Anyway.
just a little walk.
Doing a little dance.
The lobby walk.
The lobby walk. But when all's said and done, here we go now. Losers quarters, top 8 for Monday Night Mashfest. Omnisscythe versus Pinkujp.
Here we go.
Now I'm wondering how both of these players are gonna settle this out, because in a lot of situations, Pinkujp has definitely been a fan of just hanging out at full screen, and Omnisscythe is pretty comfortable just going for moon charge as well. So I'm wondering who's gonna opt to engage first. So far, right now, it's Pinkujp here.
Yep.
Here we go. Set play already started immediately, getting the throw mix up now. There we go. That spear set after throw is devious, because, you know, you're either dealing with a throw or you're dealing with a strike, and then there's other times where the opponent will mix up a further option down the line with conditioning. But as I'm saying all this, Pinkujp just already cleaned up with the perfect for the first round.
Yep. Yeah, no amount of concentrating here. It is just bloody war right now.
Button after button after button after button.
We do love pressing buttons here. It's the most fun thing you can do.
Ooh. Spears are set. Omnisscythe getting caught by the explosion. Pinkujp charging up. Okay, you didn't do that mini moon charge right there. Alright, you little dork. I don't know why you did that. A little optimal. I love you, Pinkujp. Anyway. Okay,
Oh, is
moon
that the
drive right
ADP?
there, but yeah. And we've already seen a ton of damage off of this. Not a counter hit this time in this set.
Drop.
And yeah. BC's clash.
Small unfortunate drop, but you can still make this back. He's gonna salt on the that another ADP, but still drops it again. Going with the fatal counter on the beam follow-up.
Yeah,
And
caught
then
with the
we have
immediate
it.
hold shield there.
4 meters still on the side of Omnisscythe, also with the moon drive. We can use it anytime we want, but right now you're probably going to be put into the blender since we have those spears set up.
Moondrive is available though for Omnisscythe, which means that he gets to see the mix way clearer. Trying to go in with the Moonstealer right there, but Pinkujp just punishing not super successfully, but got the first hit at least. Barely dashing out there. Smart use of the spears right there to catch Omnisscythe. Gonna back off and just keep up the momentum right now. Setting up the spears, keeping Omnisscythe off tempo.
Just gonna use this combo just to drain out the time for the blood heat, but dropped it at the end there.
Yeah.
Risky projectile right there.
That's a big thing with when your opponent is in blood heat and you're a projectile zoner, that shield potential, it could ruin. Whoa, okay.
Ooh.
That was a very smart Moonskill DP, but hold on a second, we still got a whole round to play out, and these players are going lightning fast. Pinkujp caught for trying to go for the Moonskill spear set right now. Omnisscythe gonna take the lead just barely. No hard knockdown, just goes for the throw.
You gotta probably bait some more moon skills, but there's going for the EX now. There's the ADP. These run-up ADPs from both players working out really nicely. Pinkujp taking game 1.
Look at the words right out of our mouth. These guys love the ADPs. Jesus Christ.
Everyone loves the ADP.
I guess so. I mean, both of them have like massive, ADPs, so it's kind of like, okay, cool, but still. Setting up a couple of spears.
Yep,
There it is again,
time.
right? Pinkujp just trying to go for the resource generation because it leads into such powerful set play. And Omnisscythe doing a good job of catching out Pinkujp for you spending time gaining resources, right? There's the TP into the EX cancel, however.
I do think, like before against Reaper, they were really just willing to let both players just take a bit of the concentration, and then after a bit was just no longer willing to let Reaper do it. And I think they just take that here. They're going to try to set things up, take small amounts of concentrations, because you don't want your opponent to also gain any resources.
Yeah. I think the big thing is that Miyako's speed kind of renders it an awkward situation for having to deal with someone approach so quickly. With powered CL, it's a bit of a slower tempo, so you don't necessarily need to like dash in and say, okay, I really need to just start my offense rather than deal with my opponent getting in. There's a bit more like a slower start. However, things can ramp up pretty quickly. There's the ADP once again. God, count how many times we've said that in this set alone, honestly.
For real.
No arc drive. Might have killed that, honestly, with arc drive.
Maybe, but it still did a decent amount of damage, and just the throw was enough.
Still perfection. 7 golden letters, but it doesn't even matter. We're going right into the 3rd round.
Oh, and it's starting off for Pinku.
Just an air throw ender, but gonna get a lot worse
rust.
soon. Yeah.
Starting things off for Omnisscythe now, having 3 bars, but drops the combo. Trying to get their pressure back.
Pinku just barely dodged both of those lightning shots. Jesus. Okay, EX
Nice
cancel here,
run
but the
under.
shield. Nice recognition from both players. Omnisscythe going for the moon drive right there to get the shield, and Pinku BCing in response to the shield. Drop confirm here. Caught by the JC.
Just gonna be spending 1 bar, using the other one for the heat.
Pinku wants resources to play with. Opts for the art drive here. Bye!
Oh, the heat!
Oh!
Just getting canceled by the 5cc. Very nice for Omnisscythe there.
I can't tell if that was a misinput or something else, but ooh. Just not quite the decision you want there.
Oh, man. Score is now getting tied up. 1 apiece.
Let's see what we got here. And once again, there's a lot of situations in which, because of Omnisscythe's movement, after Pinku opts for a spear in the midair, there's either a moon drive or an EX cancel following it. Forced to heat in order to get him off. A lot of health to play with, however.
And these trades are just ending up being very awkward, but it's just working out a little bit more for Pinku.
No solid hit, right? But the damage accumulated over time. I mean, Omnisscythe is already at a little less than half health.
A lot of shield interactions recently as well. There's the 2C. That's a big hit right now.
Yeah, and you see that movement forcing out the response from Pinku here and leading into an advantageous situation for Omnisscythe. Backing off, just back up and shield. You're doing A-okay. It's about even. And there's the Heat OS off of the 5A whiff.
No more
All
meter for Pinku. Little drop for Omnisscythe. Still has meter to play around with. Using the moon skill. Moon drive not available right now. Back at it. Still needs 1 more hit. Even a throw I think will be enough.
Or will definitely be enough. There's the ADP.
Oop.
Doesn't get the finished OTG sequence. Oh my god.
Scary right now.
Wait, there's
13
12 seconds left on the clock.
This could just be timed out.
Omnisscythe's gonna time him out. Time him out. Backdash. Why am I interacting with you? Why would I ever interact with you? Are you kidding me? 2 seconds left on the clock, and the JC finishes it up.
So close to the end there. All right, starting things off. Omnisscythe only needs
Real
1
good play
more
there.
round.
All right, but Pinku is looking undeterred right now.
Setting up
The EX spear
spears.
set. That's a lot. Oh my god.
Didn't even detonate them though.
Yeah.
Didn't go for that type of setup. Instead,
I don't think they're gonna. Okay. They do end up resetting the spears. Interesting. However, right now, backing up here.
Staying full screen. This is what Pinku wants, just to have a bit more screen control.
Yeah, taking a quick little moment to assess the situation, looking to see what Omnisscythe wants to do at full screen. Took a little bit of time to moon charge and didn't end up getting punished heavily for it. There's the heat activation, but Pinku already committed to the EX move. Oh my god, that
Going
was
straight into the
a
arc drive,
whiff!
but the arc drive whiffs. I didn't think that would whiff there.
I thought that was for sure a hit.
Yeah, I didn't think that wouldn't convert, but okay. So no meter now, but that was in heat, so it wasn't gonna matter all too much. but
Lucybruv is
also
available.
a nice JC counter hit. Still having to worry. Pinku
Very
does
even
have
trade here.
One knockdown for Pinku can spell disaster, but there's only 20 seconds on the clock as well. And the life leads are so even. Nice JC for Omnisscythe.
All right, are we gonna see another timeout attempt for Omnisscythe? Come on, do it. Time him out. Are you gonna kill him? Are you gonna kill him instead? You don't have enough meter to kill him. Time out.
And the
Just
timeout?
0 seconds left.
He
No!
tried to go for the heat, and it wasn't enough time either.
Yeah, Pinku was desperately looking for that situation in order to just set up a heat and pause the timer. But because Omnisscythe was not giving up that commitment, they just got to get the timeout right there. And you don't see that often in MBTL. This game goes quick. Really, really good recognition on Omnisscythe of the timer in 2 games in a row. And they do a little lobby walk as well.
Little lobby walk just for the points, the little bonus points. But yeah, both players were extremely patient there. Like, I don't think I've seen that many times where they, like, in a set where it goes to time in a while. Like, I can't even think about many of them. But right there, both players just being really patient. Omnisscythe just allowing Pinku most of the time just to be full screen and not really care. Just finding their ways around the screen control slowly. Finding a way in with, like, their longer range buttons. The JCs, like, always putting in tons of work. And so, honestly, really impressive. And I loved watching that every moment.
I would say it's less that they don't care, and it's more so, in my opinion, that they were very cognizant of it consistently. And on top of that, they presented many options in order to cover that situation, right? Yeah. They're either dash blocking or dashing in with a normal. Those are the kind of things that kept Pinku on their toes and really prevented them from just building up resources, getting one knockdown, and saying, okay, GG, shake my hand, right? Because if Omni does not play like that, and they're not walling out D.A.N Noel properly, yeah, you're not gonna have a fun time. Let's put it that way. But we've got a completely different set coming in here today. This is now winners finals, Lunar versus Lucybruv, and I think both players are ready to go.
And this is gonna be a matchup: the D.A.N versus the Vlov. How many times have you seen this matchup? Me, I've never seen it before. I couldn't think of any time I've had to ever see these two.
Really? Shocking.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, these characters very widely played, widely known to be extremely strong. So I'm wondering how they're going to approach this. I know Lucy and Lunar have played quite a bit, so I'm actually quite excited to see, like, how even the player matchup goes.
I think that'll be probably one of the bigger factors, right? We've seen Lucy handle some zoning from Kikoho earlier in the bracket with using kind of stomp and other air options and other options in order to kind of lock out some of that movement here. I'm curious to see how Lunar is going to play around it. Noel does have some D.A.N does have some air options that are pretty interesting, I would say, the dash after projectiles and such, but let's see how this plays out first and foremost.
Alright. So right now, starting off with Fire Vlov as usual. So not as strong normally. So I'm wondering just how the zoning is going to be, but actually, not even going for the zoning straight up. Lunar going to be starting off their offensive early, already going with their bit of a set play. Nice knockdown. Oh,
but we mash 2B here. It does cover the IAD as well, so it is a pretty big option, and it's fast. So it's a smart decision there.
starting things off the flame carpet. I'm not going to let you approach from the ground all too much, but still the shield after the EX. Lucy just going to go for the heat after the 2-2C. All the special moves that can come out from Vlov.
Yeah, it looks like Rekka got caught out right there with the projectile.
Moondrive is now gone for Lucy. A nice hit for Lunar. Just built the one bar, can set up this. And now we have our little bit of set play. Nice shield back. No heat OS right there for Lunar. A run up into the 4BC for the overhead to bait out the throw. Really nice. Lunar taking round 1.
Back to full screen now. Now we've got ice mode Vlov. This is where the real battle begins in true anime fashion, per se. But in all seriousness, the increased range from the projectiles, from the fireballs at least, or I guess the ice spears? I don't know what we really call them, is just insane and allows Vlov to zone a lot better. So curious to see if Lucy will play it a bit more calmly. I'm saying this as they're just kind of going in with a lot of Rekka pressure currently. Nice IAD.
And this is a pretty good hit right there, going for the air throw. I think that was another safe jump opportunity, so just do things really good. Really good and good safe.
They were forced to dash in order to punish that fireball right there. Had they not dashed up so heavily, that would have been an EX cancel from Lucybruv and I'm safe, by the way. High fun.
Wow. A great reversal throw right there. Just to catch out the run-up.
Yeah, Lucy committing to that low shield is going to get them caught out here.
Nice setup. Moondrive is getting used. Lunar still finding their way through. Blood heat now for Lucy. Lunar still willing to mash buttons and still working out for them. There's only 14 seconds on the clock.
And given the D.A.N Noel's ability to string opponents up, they might just go for plus frames and then immediately start backdashing in order to close out the round here. And it's looking like that is the game plan here.
Yeah, Lucy just not enough time. Got out of the corner, probably didn't even realize that time was even a factor there. But Lunar taking game 1.
Not 1, but 2 game-ending timeouts here today. Yeah, this is looking real intense. Luna actually surprisingly taking a little bit before like going into the rematch, but definitely felt like both players know what they're doing here, and this set's going to build into something real good. I can feel it.
As usual. These two are quite strong players, as we always know.
Yeah.
So it's
Lucy right now stomping the yard.
Fire Vlov is still quite strong. Even if it's not like the best version of Vlov, can still put in a lot of work, and as we can see, the life bars got quite the difference. Catching the heat, it wasn't safe enough. Lucy taking round 1.
Yeah. And Lucy opting for a bit more movement in order to kind of bait out Luna's approaches, and then immediately punishing it accordingly. Taking a bit more of a proactive decision making there.
Nice counter hit, but it doesn't actually confirm into anything.
JA gets countered, or punished rather. That was surprising. Spear is set. There's the strike throw mix. Luna opting for the 2B. Cleans up that round right now. Now we're even.
Oh, it's no longer even. We now
Very
have
true.
Vlov. This is the better form.
This ain't quite as even as it was earlier. Again, Luna forced to approach right there in these situations, but still getting the 2B. D.A.N's got a lot of high-range lows to work with.
Yeah, using that little staff there to all its range makes it really nicely just to poke out. Even at these far ranges where Vlov just wants people to, like, basically mash buttons so to catch people running in. Yeah.
Spears were set, so Lucy was unable to stomp. Got counter hit for it instead. Blood heat situation here. Probably going to be an arc drive as well. Not enough time for it. Just sends them all the way back to full screen. Oh, desperately trying to use Rekka for an air unblockable, but Luna is not giving them anything whatsoever. 4 bars to work with. Spears are set now. It's party time. Gets the cross up here now. 3 bars. This should be Arc Drive into death. And Luna is up 2-0 right now. This is winner's final, so we still got 1 more game bare minimum to play.
Mm-hmm. This moment might just take a little breather. Lucy already hitting rematch. Same with Lunar. So let's see. We continue on our pressure from before. Lunar now just using these projectiles. Still trying to make the approach. Gets in with the wake up mash. Set up the spears into the throw this time.
Probably been catching Lucy opt for a lot of the moon drive and the shields, right? That throw will definitely beat out both options right there, especially, you know, because moon drive's now lost that throw invuln. So very good to mix in there on top of it just being a new option to present in that situation.
Yeah.
There's a strike throw. Lucy doesn't bite, gets the BC counter, in fact. Send them to full screen. Pop heat? No. Maintains their meter. Okay. Well, when you catch them with the fireball immediately afterwards, what do I know? Yeah. That works.
Meter is on the side for Lunar.
Lunar catching Lucy with the falling JA.
Yep.
Spears are set.
Mix the cross up.
Yeah. Here we go. It does not end. The end is never the end. There's endless mix to play with here.
The best part about D.A.N. Noel is just that looping mix. The more you get to do it, the more your opponent just starts second guessing themselves.
Yeah, it's the beauty of the character.
Now
spear tosses here.
Yeah, Lunar's now the one that's getting to just zone for a bit. Tried to make the run up, but actually getting caught out for that. This is a lot of damage right there for the starter and everything.
Yeah, there's that JB safe jump. That JB safe jump is so powerful now. Beats a ton of shield options as well. It is just absolutely safe to go into. But Lucy's now really low on health. Barely getting the moon drive in order to invuln through the spears. Thought they were going to have to shield there. Now they're stuck in the corner.
Still having to send out these spears. A throw.
Almost 10 seconds left on the clock.
But the heat.
Here's the heat. We're going to pause the timer now. Back to full screen. The stop follow-up catches there. 10 seconds now. Suddenly, it looks like Lucy might be able to time out Lunar. Blood heat now. Timer's paused again, but we hit buttons. Again.
Mash the buttons. It don't matter.
It don't matter. I'm hitting the button, Luna. What are you gonna do about it?
I bought this game for $60. You expected me not to push buttons? Actually,
$60 in free DLC. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is actually $50 for free DLC. I said 60.
Yeah, they were going crazy with the prices here. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, IAD catching the backdash from Lucy. Air throw ender here. Couple of clash situations here. Not too much more to speak of currently. A lot of trades on these projectiles. That's probably one of the weirder things you may like notice in this game. The projectiles kind of just passing through each other, and both players just trading on them.
Decent amount of damage already onto Lucy.
I'd say it's more than decent. It's a good amount. That's almost what 30% left at that point.
Yeah, but also with the life differences and everything. It's
well, he's dead. They're just dead.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They're dead.
Alright, Lucy now still 4 bars. And now they're in the ice Vlov, so that they're already a better character like right now. Don't even have to go into character select to pick up top tier. You just have to lose 1 round, now you are.
There's a start. Lucy got a good initial hit, but okay. but
Getting
the
started
start.
with another mash.
Yeah.
For the Lunar.
Now Lucy, she's on the back foot here.
Just not 2A setting up spears. There's the hit, trying to catch you jumping out. Into more, another setup coming.
And this determines it. Got the throw? Actually
I
managed to
was surprised about
sneak
that
it in
first.
there. I thought from the hit stop that the spear hit and then it was the throw, but maybe I was wrong. Either way, oh.
A nice IAD to bait out throw right there.
Them's the breaks. That deep that deep dash IAD to bait throws.
The life.
With throw legs rather.
I think the life lead is slightly on Lunar's side. I say that, then the B follow-up. There is only 20 seconds on the clock right now. Things are getting dangerously close.
Very close right now. Jesus. Stomps are going to be amazing chip right now in this situation, Luna.
Not even just chip, they opened it up. Lucy putting around. Only 8 seconds left.
Keeping herself alive right now. 2A mash at the round start. Catching Luna now. Air throw ender. Keep it safe with the JB. No. Disengages entirely.
Nice IAD for the overhead.
Yeah. Push them slowly into the corner. There's that charge 6C, I believe. Hard to tell when D.A.N Noel is standing or crouching. However, Lucy still gets to open up there. 2 bars to spend here. Let's see. Are they going to opt for it? No. Just keeping it safe. There's the JB. Heat is possibly coming up from Luna. But
The moon skill projectiles just fan over such a giant area.
God, threading the needle right there with it. That could have been a trade into a dangerous situation.
I am impressed. We're going on to game 5.
Are we going to see a reverse 3-0?
It might be. It might just be.
It might just be. Lunar taking a moment right now. Letting it ride for, just a quick second. Catch your breath. Reassess what you're doing. And then just get back into it. Here we are. Game 5. Monday Night Mashfest MBTL.
Alright, it's already starting off with some of the shields. Projectile wars can end up being a lot of just shield wars in disguise, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hold on a moment. Double moon drive state now. And there it is again, right? The projectiles just going through each other and just trade in pretty weird ways.
Yeah, and it traded with Lunar's EX as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Going into
Moose is just
the,
going to spend it all.
Yeah, it did so much damage that nearly did 5k.
Yeah, no, that's fair. JB safe jump now. A bit of rebeat pressure, but Lunar is not trying to challenge the 2B or 2C. I can't blame them. The 2B after rebeat from Vlov is so potent. Rekka? Oh my god.
Yeah, nice Rekka.
Surprised to see that as an Abare option.
You never expected to be used as a bar. That's so like it's honestly crazy, and especially just the confidence of that having that hit. It's just like I don't know. At that point, when my opponent is going for like that Rekka on their wake up and everything, I'm a little scared. Like I don't know if I want to go in anymore.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glancing at them like if this is in person, I'm glancing at them going, what? And then getting right back into it. I'm not gonna say anything, of course, but I'm gonna give a side eye real quick. But that doesn't matter right now. Side eye or not, Lucy managing to take that game and setting themselves up in winner's side of grand finals with the reverse 3-0 on Lunar.
Something else I had just thought about was the reverse 3-0 with the fire Vlov.
Oh my god,
They did not go into ice for that last game.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Jesus.
Yeah, who needs ice Vlov? Fire is all you need.
Fire's pretty sick. Right now, we've got loser semis here. So this will be Omnisscythe versus, if I remember correctly.
Low it should be.
Yes. So
it
this
should
will
the power
be
PL here.
Yes. Which I don't think you see very often, even on here. And, There's a good amount of pirate CLs that pull up for WASD brackets, I feel.
Yeah, P.Ciel, one of our probably like more enjoyed characters, especially within our like top 8 and such. But I don't think we get to see the mirror all too often. So I'm actually quite interested to see this. I'm not even sure how a mirror like this is meant to play out.
Look, it's a mirror in an anime fighting game. This is either going to be really clean or it's going to be the funniest sloppy fucking mess that we get here.
I'm hoping for
a tad
option number
swearing,
2.
but, you know, I'm betting it's going to be a pretty big sloppy mess, but hey, that's a pretty good time, I'd say.
How many ADPs are you expecting?
Oh, Jesus Christ. For those watching the VOD, let's go with 15.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm lowballing it, I'll be honest.
It might be. If they both go around start like ADP a few times, I'm gonna laugh.
No, looks like they attempted a round start 2A, but Omnisscythe is faster on the quick draw.
With the throw, it seems. Nice block
Jesus
into
Christ.
shield warp, but Low still finding their way in. Really doing a decent chunk, just trying to get this over to the corner, probably going into the 1 bar. Yep, taking this all the way there. Let's see if we can have some nice blocks from Omnisscythe. Decent patience, a nice 3B there, but no confirm out of it.
Ooh.
Tech. This is still going very well for Omnisscythe.
Yeah,
The
good
life
conversion
leads
off the
heading
auto
here.
combo.
Let's see what else we can get. Trying to open him up, but it's not working.
There it is. There's the clash. Again, you can. Oh, wow. Moonskill DP right there.
Another clash. Oh, and it works out in favor for Low. Low does have 3 bars, 15 seconds on the board.
God, how many timeouts are we going to see today? 10 seconds. Well, again,
11
timer's
minutes.
paused because of the heat. But now, afterwards, Low's going to be an advantage unless you get Shield BC, in which case you might have just given up the entire round right then and there. That will be the arc drive. Pauses the timer as well, so even if this doesn't kill, it's currents.
Yep. I'm actually wondering if they really should have spent the arc drive. Since there was such a low amount of time on the board, maybe they could have just saved the meter. But maybe they just didn't have the awareness for it, but I'm not
They
sure.
didn't have the life lead, and if they went for a traditional EX cancel, they would have ran out of time. So that's why they went for it. And honestly, sometimes there are situations where if it's ambiguous, just take the guaranteed win. Like, let's not play around with your food, you know?
That's true. I thought they had
Anyway.
the life lead, so I was thinking about it like that, but no, you do make a good point.
Yeah. Ooh, try to go for the immediate
Nice
tap
shield
shield there. Good damage. Spend the meter. Alright, what you got this time?
We're just
Keep
taking
your
this
heat
for
safe.
now. Moondrive, Omnisscythe trying to get their way back in, finds the hit. Has only 1 bar. Might spend it to get close to the corner. No, just gonna be using the air throw knockdown.
Yeah, it looks like they're recognizing their damage gates. Wants to either be able to spend 2 bars to guarantee a kill, or just want some of the utility that it nets you.
Yeah, possibly being able to use the 1 bar for an extended combo and the second one if you need for a heat, but at the same time not even needed. Just the 1 will be enough for the kill there. Omnisscythe taking game 1.
And remember, this is losers semis, so this is 2 out of 3. So things could end very, very quickly. But given the near timeouts that we've had through consecutive sets now, this is our 3rd set in a row with a near timeout. Well, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like there's actually been less heats that I've been seeing. So the timer has been pausing a whole lot less. So we're getting a lot closer to timeouts.
Yeah, part of it is because they're in a mirror on a character with such huge neutral tools, you really can't set up a lot of heats in neutral very safely unless, you know, sorry, you're basically just opting for it, like a safe heat setup there. You can't really just get away with a neutral heat against either of these characters and either of these opponents. For now, though, real good for the damage.
Even taking a small concentrate, build up some meter. Omnisscythe found their way out, getting a nice hit for their troubles. Has 3 bars but can spend. Just gonna be spending 1 so far. Doesn't decide to spend a second one. Omnisscythe barely with the life lead right here, wanting to go back in. There's the ADP run under with the 5C fatal counter. Doing everything they can. There's the moon drive. Jump back, JC. Omnisscythe, 1 round away. Set point. Round
There
start
it is.
ADP.
I feel like all the players went, right, there's a quota. Okay, cool.
Like, I gotta remember, I gotta do this. Company said so.
It's like, oh yeah, this is like really good.
You there, do you want 4K meterless?
Oh my god.
All you need is 1 ADP.
I'm so sorry, your mic picked that up really well, so it sounded pre-recorded. There's a couple of DPs, Jesus Christ. Okay. Going back to mid-screen, how far are you gonna take them? Alright, you know, all the way to the corner is fair. Crossed up right now. That 5C, or 2C rather, is not gonna work out for Low. In fact, that's gonna take him to a near-death situation here. Omnisscythe, very cognizant of the heat, does not want to overcommit on his offense. There it is! The Heat OS tucked inside. And Omnisscythe moves forward to losers finals.
Very, very nicely done for Omnisscythe right there. Winning this game to actually get back into the run back against Lunar, who put them here. So I'm wondering how things are going to be changing now.
Well, he does have a lot of momentum pulling in for this set, at least. I think it's a matter of just recognizing some of the things that were going wrong in the last set and just simply executing on them, right? There's not, you know, this is not a week later or something. You didn't review the tapes or the VODs or whatever. You've got a vague notion of what went wrong last set, and you just have to go into it and get things done.
Yep. And this is now going to be our losers final. So this is back to 3 out of 5. So there's a lot more time to adapt and see what's going on, not just from what happened last game, but now what's currently going on. You have a lot more time. So I'm excited to see. Maybe Omnisscythe will adapt a lot better. For now, going into it, our losers finals for MBTL Mashfest.
Letting the intros rock. Here we go.
No round start ADPs from either players. That's good. Already starting off well, in my opinion.
Big change.
Big change.
Big change, big change. However, still going to see a lot of those JCs from Omnisscythe. That is going to be, like... It's going to be one of the primary neutral tools, especially when you're in the air. Good shield right there in response.
Shielding every single hit from that EX and the moonsault.
Good shield counter there, but Lunar looked very ready for it. Alright, gets a spear set. This is the corner, so you're not going to get much. Just kidding, unless... Nice job on Lunar in order to pull them, Omnisscythe, out of the corner for the left-right. UC gets caught out. Lunar's just a little too fast there. Not going to build up enough meter for EX to cancel, to finish this up. But Omnisscythe very much so on the back foot. But Lunar bets it all on a DP, and that's going to get him killed for the round.
Yep, just with a single bar right there.
Keeping it nice and efficient.
Yep. Don't need to spend all too much. There's the ADP.
Ah, yes.
The round
Let's start
Quota.
ADPs that we know and love.
Quota's being filled now. Love it.
Yeah. Spears are set and immediately
far
exploded.
range.
It's time for even more set play. Whether that was a cross-up or not, I have no idea, but I got hit.
No clue.
One last bar to spend here.
Oh,
Drops
but
the
dropped
combo.
it. Still doesn't matter. Lunar's taking that one with a perfect no matter what.
Yeah.
I can just mash 2A.
Or ADP. God dang.
Love to see it. Love to hate it.
The way you say
Oh.
that, it sounds like you love to hate it. There's the BDP this time. Full invuln. Out of the middle of 5 CC.
Nice throw tech right there to catch the dash and the projectiles.
No shield there this time. Lunar with 3 bars. Gets the throw. Strike throw. Doesn't even bother setting the spear. Dashing up with the shield. Wants to look for the heat. But the throw again will take the round for Lunar.
Game 1 going to Lunar. Omnisscythe still has to adjust a few things. Finding round 1 was nice, but still, 1 round is not going to be enough. Starting things back, we can't let Lunar start their offensive, but there it already is with the fatal counter. Dropped combo. Drive already getting spent just to run full screen again. Nice tech. Fatal counter with the I think that's the 5B. That's also an anti-air.
I believe so, yeah. Alright, there's the moon skill spin. Cancels it into, or rather goes for the 623C afterwards, but not going to work out. In fact, that's going to spell his death.
Almost death, but no, right now. Omnisscythe still living, gets the JB afterwards.
Baits Lunar's throw, but there's no way they can set up heat safely from this point. They need to just
there's the
play
overhead.
this out. That's a start, but they keep getting OTGs here, so they're not able to get the full extent of the combo. BC follow-up with the 2CC whiffs. Good shields. They're back in action.
Still in
Suddenly-
the corner, not spending any meter. The 2C! They can end it right here, spending the meter. Not even
Oh.
going to, doesn't need it. Omnisscythe pulling back that round.
I have no idea how they just did that. No heat spent whatsoever, and they still managed to claw out a win in the round there. But
All it
Luna
took was
is...
one unfortunate drop for Luna, just to kind of reset things for Omnisscythe there.
And that's the caliber of play that we're dealing with these last 3 people here, right? Each of these players will punish you hard for making some mistakes here.
Mhm.
Like the
Nice
whiffs.
backdash on the 4B. And the shield wars get quite interesting, quite scary later on.
Just barely clipped, literally by the foot, and the 5C is caught on its whiff recovery.
Let's see. Fatal counter. They're getting stuff started already.
On the dash follow up there from the spear. Spears are set, exploded. That's a lot of meter to play with. Expect to see some set play now. And here we go. Moondrive is spent. Big resources for Lunar to get out of Omnisscythe. However, Omni with the hit now. 4 bars to play with. Are we going to see a safe heat after some meter spent? Probably. No. Keeping it safe for the JC.
Trying to get some nice mix, gets the throw eventually.
Tricky with the moon skill lightning there.
Couldn't stop Lunar from jumping out this time with the 5C. Lunar just spending all the meter, trying to
Not gonna
win
be
it
a
out
lot
right
of
here.
damage, but
It's not
Still.
enough to kill. But with
Here
no
it
moon
is.
drive for Omnisscythe, it was gonna be a little bit scary. Lunar up 2 games.
right now Omnisscythe just taking a moment, pausing to think, oh, we're gonna see a return to the room. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna be seeing a character swap, so this is probably just gonna be a breather.
Yeah, this is probably a breather.
In these
Man,
moments, you just gotta think, what is it gonna be?
Hold on, there's a character
No way,
select.
no way. No,
You're not gonna go back to Miyako, right? You're not going back to
No.
Miyako, right?
no,
No,
no.
nah. Who are you picking then? Who are you picking?
It's gonna be
Tell
like
me.
a Mashu? Do you have
What
like
do you
a
think? You think
pocket
it's a mash?
Mashu since like the Is it a color change?
No, I don't think that's the color change. See what I mean? God, it's such a hard time just distinguishing
I don't
this.
know either. I feel like Mashu smiles in her chibi. That's my only thing, so I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, it
is
was a color
power
change.
too. It's change. No, that's fair.
Just trying to bait us out.
You ever color change when it's like close in a set and you're just like, all right, man, like.
Yo, it's
Change
for
colors
a
in the
power
presence.
boost.
Yeah.
Change the color, change the stage, change the music, power boost. Lunar also changed colors.
Yeah. Omnisscythe
I'm gonna
on
match
the-
your power boost with my own.
Yeah.
There's the ADP. Nice counter hit for Lunar here. Now put in the corner. Set up. Not working out quite yet.
There's the overhead spears now. Going to be the starter here. A lot of meter to play with, so it's business as usual if you've seen D.A.N. Noel.
Going in for the moon drive with throw, but no punish on it.
Yeah. But
Nice
now that the moon
throw.
drive is out of play for the time being... Oh, hold on. Are we going to see a third throw? No, we mash.
It was gonna be a low though.
Probably. Here we go. High, low, cross up. Doesn't matter. We are heating out. An interesting trade right there.
Oh.
He counter trading with the moon skill
I think that was
DP.
I think. Yeah. The B follow up and was it BDP or ADP?
I think that was not too sure.
If it was BDP, I feel like it would have invuln.
Well, it was
Actually,
moon skill
wait, this-
DP is the thing. We were talking about what
Oh.
Luna was doing.
I didn't see it was moon skill, so that's kind of what got me, I guess.
All good. What I'm seeing right now is Lunar getting hit quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's still going on right now.
It-
Omnisscythe's still working on this perfect. Never mind, I had
And
to
it
say
is-
something.
You immediately ruined it. This is what you've done. So, commentary question here. How do you feel ruining a perfect?
I didn't mean to put him on the spot.
But look at what you've done.
I can't believe this.
Reflect on your actions. IAD right now as Lunar continues the pressure, using the moon skill in the moon drive in order to gain enough meter for arc drive. Proceeds to drop the combo anyway, but we're fine unless we're not really fine because he lost the round. That is
My
really
curse wasn't
unfortunate.
that bad.
I don't know. I don't know. ADP, however, feels like I was a little early in my ADP prediction. Probably should have put it towards this set.
Mm-hmm.
But there it
Oh,
is,
no.
baiting out the heat.
Still doing so much damage into another setup.
And,
Oh.
again, no time for health regen. You are busy getting hit.
Which side is that on? I don't know.
But he knows.
Nice, the B follow-up. This time not getting called out with the shield, but still, Lunar ends that one out with a perfect. Going 3-0 over Omnisscythe.
Perhaps shades of their set with Lucy fresh on their mind, deciding that they're going to close it out right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Can't let my opponent reverse 3-0 me again.
Yeah. Color changed, be damned, you are doomed.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the stage set for our grand finals here on Monday Night Mashfest. We'll get to see Lucybruv in winner's side against Lunar in the loser's side. And this should be what we're expecting to see is the Vlov versus the D.A.N. Noel. Now, if you're just joining in here last minute, this is the result of a reverse 3-0 that Lucy made on Lunar that sent him to losers in the first place. So,
It will be
This is a-
quite impressive to see what happens now.
Yes.
But before that, I think I want to mention one last time, since this is going to be our grand finals. If anyone can be so kind to head on over to the Matcherino, possibly hit a few of the sponsor quests, or even just drop a little bit of money from, I don't know, maybe your Matcherino balance, or just donating out of the kindness of your heart. If we do hit that 150 mark, we will actually be getting a top 4 payout.
If you're a low fan, you might want to try to get that to 150. Low taking fourth in this bracket, so if you're a fan of low, or it's been such a great bracket today. I'll just say it. It's been such a great bracket today that I think if you have the means to do so, getting this to a top 4 payout, I think is pretty justified. Yeah, we got a pretty hype grand finals coming up, and I'll let my commentators take it away on that. Thank you everybody for watching so far.
And once again, thank you, Ryer, for having us along and hosting this and all that. Very, very big ups on the WASD crew for putting these together. All that being said, you can be a little sappy later. We got a whole grand finals to get through here. Let's get it.
Let's go. Lunar versus Lucy. A run back from the winners finals. Let's see if anything changes from now.
We're gonna see a bit more ice Vlov.
Oh no.
I'm being a little toxic. But Lucy's fire Vlov was really putting in a lot of work. It's kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it ended with Fire Vlov.
Yeah, it did. All right, good shield on the fireball right there, and clash frames on the fireball. What in God's name?
I'm just as surprised as you are.
Yeah. Lucy opting to stay at full screen, using their movement in order to keep themselves away from Lunar. Good shield right there.
Projectiles coming out.
Yeah, both players
Crazy.
are swinging and polluting that screen. Lucy not quite there with the conversion, but still in a very dominant position right now in this round. Catching out Luna's super jump right there with the simple anti-air fireball.
Still continuing on. Lunar does have a lot of meter to work with. Finding this hit is big since we get to set up our set play now. Find the knockdown, mix it up. Nice shield on the overhead, but nothing more. Zoning.
Lucy's still stuck in the corner right now. She's got to find some way to get out of this situation here.
It does for the most part. Lunar spending a lot.
And again,
I've
Lucy just
basically
playing
done-
it back. Like, sticking to a lot more of the zoning despite being in fire mode. Doesn't really want to let Luna get started whatsoever. And catching Luna on a lot of approaches as well. Oh, follow-up right there from the 2-2x whiff.
Another setup. A nice backdash for Lucy just to get out of there. But a fatal counter dropped from Lunar. And we're just going to be seeing some plus frames. The 2C is going to whiff, but no punish. But right there, the 2A for Lunar picks up the round.
Yeah, it looks like they caught Lucy trying to fuzzy jump.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's Ice Vlov time. All jokes aside, this is going to be a much stronger zoning with a massive increase to the size of those fireballs. Caught in the middle of the 2BC. There's
Nice
the throw. Draws the shield out of Lucy, but no dice and converting from it. The heat afterwards will keep Lucy safe, but Luna's pressure still going on. Good mash, however, immediately cashes out on the damage there.
Goodness, it's one fireball into Arc Drive that does so much.
Air unblockable? No!
Oh.
Opts for the IAD right afterwards because Luna went for that air moon drive. Whoa, trying to go for the charge shield. Yeah, right in time for it. Alright, can you survive? Survey says yes, but without a full punish.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the throw, strike throw. What do you know? The overhead
There's
indeed.
the overhead. Not dropping this time. Lunar taking game one. Now, Lunar is from our loser's side, so has to win 3 games in order to reset the bracket, and then has to win another 3 in order to win this whole thing.
Here we go. Round start for the second game. Lucy looks very undeterred. We're using a lot of the moon gauge right now while in the middle of moon drive, but passive meter gain is still coming in and working out quite well for them. However, that could all change with the shield B counter hits.
Right now, Lunar working with so much meter. Decides to try to go for the overhead, I think.
Yeah, they want to show a couple of different options. Lucy's been getting a lot of successful shields out of the 50-50 situations.
Yeah, either the shields or even just, at times, a backdash. Just getting out of things.
Yeah.
That's never what you want to see. When your opponent gets a really good read on that, you need to bring in more and more options.
Yeah, Lucy not quite there for the air unblockable setup. I like the attempt, but just not going to quite work out. Sending them to full screen, get your resources, wait for that 2B or 2C counter hit, but Lunar gets started instead. 2 bars to work with. Unable to kill off of this confirm. A backdash from Lucy barely gets her out of there. Shield, what's the follow-up? Tried to EXDP. I like the idea from Lunar, but not quite there.
It was a little bit rough right now. Just going on to the next round. Lucy's still going to be on the fire Vlov. Nice IAD to bait out the throw. Really nicely done. Can we set it up? Yes, we can. It's going to be the mix. Try to go for the cross up.
Oh,
Fatal
there
counter
it
on
is.
that shield.
Just hopped over it too.
Build up a little bit more of the meter. Just got the 1 more bar, so we can do it one last time.
All right.
One needs to kill it. It does with the cross up.
Yeah. Curtains for Lucy right there. And looking a little reminiscent of their first set. We did see a reverse 3-0 in it, but I'm quite sure that Lunar is ready to handle the situation if it comes up.
Alright. Now Lunar's probably going to be trying to back off a little bit. Nope. Still wanting to go in even with the lower meter. Just trying to get some shields. Lucy just taking these times to concentrate. Build up as much resources as they can. These throws have been working out quite often for Lunar.
You know what hasn't been working out for Lucy that's shocking to me? The air unblockables. Lucy's been opting for them, and they look like they should be working, but almost every other time, Lunar's just a little too high, and that is really critical to playing Vlov, I would feel, and especially locking down their air movement. And now, suddenly we're seeing, again, a snapshot of their last set. Lunar up 2-0. Now, I don't know if Lucy's got another reverse 3-0 in them, but if they do, now's a fair time to bust that out.
The same, starting things off. A nice throw for Lucy on that shield. Finding their pressure early. Going in with the overhead right there.
Putting that back in the mix now. Rekka's not quite connecting. Again, Lunar's just a little too high up in order for some of these Rekkas to connect.
Yep. Right now, Lunar finding a nice hit into the set play. What's it gonna be? Nice shield, but still getting countered afterwards for holding it too long. Gray beat right there as well. No bait on the heat, but still the pressure for Lunar working out pretty nicely. There's the arc drive, just gonna get shielded.
But does not get the proper follow-up right there. The punish on that is a little bit more awkward than you would expect. And I think they were a little too far for BC to actually catch Vlov, but yeesh.
I thought it would have caught. I thought for a second he was still like invuln from the arc drive.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'll be honest. I haven't labbed it out recently, so I'm not gonna put words in people's mouths. But there's an old video talking about the BC follow-ups against supers.
Yeah.
15 seconds left on the clock. Are we gonna see a
Lunar's
fourth
at no
timeout
shield.
today? Looking for
No,
the
we're
air
not.
unblockable, gets Lucy killed, and again, they're just not working out, and it's resulting in, I mean, this is probably the biggest example of it, yeah? Just losing the round off of that. ADP now from Lunar. Here comes the meter. Take them out of the corner. You gotta hold the left-right. Shields it, but the moon drive on the B follow-up to invuln through it.
A nice 4K into the setup. Baits the heat.
God. That movement made it look like they were about to commit to some other mix-up option, but they just clean it up right there. And that is how you 3-0 someone.
Yeah. Resetting the bracket now. Going into our Shin Grand Finals. Now both going to be in loser's side. Lucy and Lunar just have to win 3 games in order to take this entire bracket. Switching to the Roa now. Vlov not cutting it out.
All right, and remember, this is the start of the set. So Lucy still can switch characters if they feel that is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what they want out of the Roa specifically in terms of the neutral tools and defensive tools available.
I still feel like the Roa is like partly their comfort pick. So it's like if the Vlov isn't working, I'm just gonna go with someone I know is tried and true. Like it just works. Especially considering, man, that's some good damage.
Yeah.
Like Lucy has known so much about Roa that I'm not surprised that they still feel comfortable, even if they don't necessarily like a matchup. They can do it extremely well. Oh, another DP into the EX. Lunar now finding their start to set up the spears, go for some more set play. Nice shield. Lucy finding their way out. Man, the amount of times that Lucy finds these really good ways out of Lunar's pressure, I don't see people get to do it as often. Like, Lucy just finds those key ways out so easily, but even still, some of these combos just it's too much.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely don't see those kind of IADs right there. That was crazy, the IAD throw. So low to the ground. That's more like a gear or a blaze blue throw. Jesus.
Yeah. Lucy starting off pressure a lot with these lightning rods.
Alright, we got another clean hit for them. EXTP Ender, hard knockdown.
Nice IAD for Lucy.
Not gonna need to spend much meter to close it out, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Roa does really good damage for like low meter and feel.
Yeah, this character's still very meter efficient, I would say.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, into the moon drive. Spend anything you want right now. Spend it all if you feel like it. That did so much damage. Finding the counter hit as well.
Oh, you could tell that they were about to bait out that heat.
Yeah.
But they just did not get their shield to come out. Just walking back instead.
Oh, getting the DP though. Continuing on.
Moon drive.
Going to the EX. Oh, the moon skill DP not working out there.
And now just looking for an opportunity to just get that one last tag. But Lunar, a throw could definitely get something started.
Oh, but
baited
the
heat.
POS working out for Lunar here. They do have the meter, can set it up. Not even worrying about the safe heat or anything.
This is going to be a comeback. This is it. This is over.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Say it ain't so.
But the
Okay.
DP just still gets hit by the activated spear.
Jesus. Okay.
Very nicely done for Lunar, even with the drop there, able to take it out. But goodness, that last part would have been a big scramble.
You guys want to stretch? You guys want to stress me out? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let me stretch real quick, and I'll. Jesus. Okay. Oh. These are some crazy sets.
Very crazy. I'm not sure how much my heart can take, honestly.
I do not know.
Alright, already starting off with some pretty good damage from Lucy. Oh, with the throw, it seems. This allows Lunar to get in. Already has 2 meter, can start the set play already. Moon drive, blocked it low, but there's the throw afterwards.
Facing the backdash now as well.
More set play, do it again.
More set play, more damage.
More meter, more damage, more set play.
God. I don't know who would make that kind of demand.
I'm not entirely sure.
Sickos, that too. Alright,
Yeah,
here we go. Oh, you playing a set play character? And there it is, that's fine. Alright, we got some shields. Shields on the spears so far. Lucy's not doing badly per se, but it feels like they really can't establish their neutral presence through the usage of their specials or buttons. Either Lunar kind of deftly dodges it, or frankly, they're just busy doing something else. And by that, I just kind of mean they're either, actively air dodging or air dashing, in or out, or they're just kind of outside of that range already, and they don't really feel the need to commit heavily.
So, Lunar is now up 2 games. Is this going to be a second 3-0?
We're see a 6-0?
Yeah, 6-0. Back to back. I'm wondering. This could be scary, but right now Lucy's trying to prevent that. Getting a nice combo already in the corner. But the fatal... Was that the 2C that anti-aired?
I have no idea. It's really hard to distinguish, I'm not gonna lie. Shield procs. Spears are set, but not enough meter to really pop them.
No need, just getting another nice throw. Popping some now. Counter hit for Lunar. Gonna be able to set up some more.
Yeah.
Oh no, just going for the projectiles.
Oh yeah. Okay. Backing off right now, forcing Lucy to approach, but you gotta remember it is indeed Roa. Mootsuki will get him in there, safe heat now.
Nice
Arc drive.
All
right.
Wow.
Lucy showing signs of life. Keeping herself alive now.
That game was going really Lunar's favor for a while. But just letting Lucy out of the corner, that one moon skill, as you said, gets them in pretty easily.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Getting with the hard knockdown with the EX.
Okay. There's the moon drive cancel.
Fatal counter. Lucy doing nicely. Lunar with 4 bars. I'm wondering if they're going to be spending it for a heat on wake up right there. Oh, but it doesn't connect with Lucy. Lucy putting up a game now. Oh no.
Can't be
Oh,
doing
no.
it like that. What? I know. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. So we'll leave it at that then. It's possible.
Yes.
But for right now, Lunar now just gonna be going in with the throw afterwards. Man, that was a lot of damage. ADP for Lucy's wake up. Goodness, ADP just putting in work every
I
time.
know.
A nice
Throw right
first
there.
throw.
Yeah, catching the landing recovery of the shield.
Lucy does have 3 bars, can spend it however they like. Oh, didn't use the moon drive there to continue pressure or anything. Just instead walking back. To block quite a bit. There's the heat. Didn't get baited by Lunar. Needles coming out, just getting some plus frames. Lucy now with no meter, but the moon drive getting spent from both players.
Counter moon drive. Lucy opting to try and shield. Luna not really committing anything after the shield. Get the safe heat as well. Timer's paused at 38 seconds.
Another
And again at 36 seconds. Torn for seat barely clipping Lunar.
Moon drive getting spent after the aerial DP. A nice hit for Lucy. How much is this gonna matter? Oh, nice smash for Lunar.
The drop is going to cost quite a bit, so it still matters in a sense. Wake up shield, heat. Air unblockable sequence. There we go.
There we go. Lucy putting another round. That was with 9 seconds left. Goodness. The amount of times these get close to like the last few seconds is just crazy.
These are the most near timeouts I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Air throw under here, nothing too crazy.
Both players
Moon
spending
drive.
moon drive. Concentrating at full screen, but Lunar just content with running up and throwing. Just doing whatever they can.
Alright, dashes out. Opting for a lot of the moon charge of these, as you've been pointing out.
Yeah.
There's the IAD. Recognizing the crouch shield. I have no idea. You got a lab to figure out the distinction between those two. Jesus. Noel's standing shield and crouch shield animations are so similar.
It's true. I can somewhat see it, but it is not easy.
I'll be honest, I can't. You know what's going to be really hard?
Hmm?
Stomaching the feeling of getting reverse 3-0'd potentially in grand finals.
Oh no.
Because we are now 2-2 after the 3-0 reset with the Roa. Things are not looking so sweet like they were earlier.
I want to give a quick shout out to Boston Blue Beat for the raid with a party of 35. I guess Blaze Blue must have just finished up.
Yeah. I gave it a peek too. It looks like it was Dawn versus Fazama grand finals. Pretty sick. Hey guys, I know you normally see me for Boston Blue Beat, but I was here commentating with WazD. Please don't be mad. We're here in grand finals of Monday Night Mashfest. We are literally on game 5 of grands. You guys came here just in time, okay? We're seeing a potential reverse 3-0 by Lucybruv against Luna. Mind you, Lucy reverse 3-0'd Luna to go into winner side of grand finals earlier. And this is after Lunar 3-0'd Lucy in the first set of grands. So it's been a little bit insane, per se. Richter, I'm sorry.
The amount of times
there
that
were
we
no
said
savers there.
3-0 in there.
I know, but Jesus.
It's almost as many times as we've had to say ADP this like entire stream.
Yes, we haven't seen it. We haven't had to say it this. But no,
No,
a couple ADPs. Anyway, hold on a second. Oh, no air throw coming in. Just kind of trying to cross under. It looks like. And there it is. Just a couple of dash blocks before making their approach.
I will say, Lunar does take the projectile approach differently now. Before they were throwing out the 2-1-4 spears and just having them there just to wait for someone to approach, and then throwing out tons of like 2-3-6 spears and just concentrating, constantly doing that. But here it's not really possible. Lucy just shields almost all of them, so there's no amount of chip damage ever really going through. There's no like random hits they could be getting from the approach, and so they feel like they have to always go in. Like, look at this now, Lunar still making the approach, finding the hit with the overhead. But
Bars to play with as well. We're gonna go straight to the set play. What you got for us?
A throw. 20 seconds on the board.
And
Reversal throw for
throw.
Lucy.
Caught the
Finding the
backdash
dragon.
now.
goodness, with the smallest amount of life left for both players. Yeah, Lucy just clutches that out. Doesn't even, like, just really aware on that that Oki setup and just goes for it.
And now suddenly, Lucy is at tournament point. Now, Lunar's doing a good job and might be able to clean up the round off of this hit alone to start themselves off. Let's see what we've got here for the mix. Back dashes.
Backdash. To get through the overhead as well. I didn't think the backdash would work.
Good shield so far, but they'll only take you so far along the road. Now here we are. Shocker, shocker, shocker. Last round, last game, reset, grand finals here.
This is going to be scary. Lunar getting stuff started. Once their set play starts, it feels like it never ends.
And
so
getting 4.2 there is big. Spend the meter on there.
Nice shield. You don't want to get air unblockable from that or anything.
So they got caught trying to follow up, and they've been going for a lot of Moondrive shield right there after the throw from Lunar. I think at this point Luna's very comfortable with it because now that major resource is gone. So the next time Lunar gets a knockdown with EX Spear set, they do not have to worry about Lucy just Moondrive shielding. However,
oh, there's the hit. Are we going to be going into Arc Drive at all?
Just
yes,
barely enough time. Should be about 5k damage here.
Tying up the life mounts. There's the
There's
DP
the
into the
special.
shield. Oh, man, the life lead is going to be swapping a bit now with a nice follow-up from Lucy after that shield with 1 bar. Lunar still has 3. Probably going to be wanting to... Oh, no. A fatal counter. This continues. Lucy takes it. And then Alt F4 is like the legend they are with the reverse 3-0 again. I cannot believe this.
So we got a reverse 3, so we nearly had a 3-0, but then there was a reverse 3-0. But then in the next set, there was an actual 3-0, and then we almost got 3-0 again for a 6-0. But then the other reverse 3-0 took it, and now Monday Night Mashfest is concluded. That's a pretty crazy, top 3 bracket, huh? That's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, I think that was pretty crazy. I think I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure. Like, honestly,
you're not sure if you enjoyed it? I had a
at
good
this
time.
point, I just got mixed up like 15,000 times. I'm not sure what I'm thinking.
I was
Don't worry about
screaming on a muted microphone.
The point is, Lucy is in first place. Now Lunar is in second place, and Omnisscythe is in third place, and that's all we have to worry about. We don't have to stress about the number 3 too much, but in all seriousness, very fun bracket.
Now from the number 3.
I
Amazing
know,
bracket.
but that was very an insane ending right there. Jesus.
So that will conclude Monday Night Mashfest number 70. 70th Mashfest. I don't know which one of Lumina's it was, but yeah, so that will end. Towito broke down the placements. We had 50 players in this bracket, so good stuff to all the killers that entered. Thank you to my commentators. Y'all did great. Is there anything you would like to shout out this evening?
Just like to shout out Boston Blue Bee per usual. We've been running some weekly BBCF brackets. So we had ours earlier today about the same time as this one. We'll be back next week with more. These will be going on until early October, and then we'll have a big old invitational. So by all means, pull up if you want to get some CF action in as well. It's a ton of fun. I think that's about it for my end.
Cool.
And as for me, I don't really plug my socials or anything. I more plug my friend, Kuruno Oki, who basically just... We constantly go out, play random weird fighting games late at night. He's actually streaming currently right now. I do appear in his streams a few times, so it's a little bit of a joint effort. But no, honestly, go out, see him. He's a good friend of mine, and so I like to plug his stuff.
Cool. Yeah, you two did great. Be sure to follow these two as well if you're not already doing so. They put a lot towards both commentary and production effort in not only our stuff, but other stuff in the FGC as well. As for me, my name is Ryer. I'm a tournament organizer VTuber. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryer on stream, and my Twitch is what I've been typing on all night. I stream fighting games on my personal channel as well from time to time. As for the organization, this is WASD on the Impurist Club channel. We are an online and offline fighting game organization, I guess is the best way to put it. We run 4 online brackets a week and 1 offline tournament a month up in the New York area, where we play Multi-Blood type Lumina, Under Night In-Birth, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and Blaze Blue are our mainstay games online. So definitely join the Discord and follow WASD on Twitter if you want to see kind of what we have coming up. Our next tournament is going to be this Wednesday. It's going to be a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus open bracket. So we'll see you back on this channel on Wednesday. Let's see. Who else is playing Lumina tonight? Let's send everybody to somebody playing.
Akimi's going on if you want some more VTuber action.
Who's that? Oh, Akimi's going. Yeah, let's send it to Akimi.
Yeah.
So, Aki FGC. Support your VTubers, support your tournament organizers, and support me twice as much, because I'm both. Right. We're going to send you all off to Akimi. Say what's up from us. Watch some Monday Night Melty. And we will catch you on Wednesday for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.